let's go ahead and start up then.
I'm hungry, so I don't know if I'm good, but I'm good.
Have to just
Dema's playing
survive.
Divinity.
Yeah, he had. Oh my god.
Yes, but if there's one thing that's great about Douglas McWillikers, it's that he's usually up till the wee hours of the morning. So if you want to hit up some Divinity after this, you probably can.
Douglas
Relic
Milwillikers?
Douglas McWillikers?
That's
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Demogolka.
Oh,
What's
man.
Demo's first name?
Douglas. Jesus fuck. Anyway, how was everybody's week?
Pretty alright.
Pretty alright.
Pretty good.
Cool.
It's been
Nice.
pretty good.
I got to start playing in another session of
Mhm.
Skyfall.
So now you're playing in like 30 games?
Yeah,
Running
now
20?
my weekly D&D output is raised by like 10%.
Jesus.
It's always good.
Okay, well, it's good to hear. It's great to see you all again. Let's see what you guys got up to last time. Oh yeah, so you guys found a book and then dealt with all, or attempted to deal with all of its shit. In a nutshell, you had made your way off into the Underdark and continued to explore more and more tunnels, and in one of them found what appeared to be some old ruins, and things became vastly more complicated. You found at the end of the ruins a puzzle, which held in its grasp a strange item, and from there, voices were heard, pacts were made, and eventually books were ripped in half by impatient barbarians, let's say. Impatient. The last thing that has happened. Yeah, you were like, there's too much talking. I have to get rid of this thing.
I suppose that's fair.
Like, there's nothing for me here. Fuck this book.
That's what I remember.
So, coming back to the last scene here as we
I
reconnect
prefer
to
the term
today's session.
decisive.
You have just ripped the book in half, and it has fallen apart to pieces. While it tumbles to the ground in slow motion, it turns into feathers, which then fall apart into sand and dust, and the whole thing disappears. What do you guys want to do?
I'm crying on the ground. Not crying. I'm like holding Jay.
Yeah.
Desperately
that.
grasp at the dust floating away.
I'm pretty sure Rook and I are just like holding each other, like crying.
Nice.
I look at Braxton and grunt.
We should start
Yuri,
all of our
what the
sessions
hell?
like that.
What do you mean, what the hell? The thing was breaking us apart.
We needed to have a talk about
Look at them! Look at them hugging each other with tears all over them after they just had a conflict. And you're telling me the book was a good thing. And I
it.
walk
I
on.
don't want. No, you get back here. We're not done with this.
What's your Yuri Iron Fist, you come back here this instant.
Don't make me turn this party around.
Like we had
Won't
a
like it when I
clearly
get to 3. 1.
a clearly powerful item that you just decided to destroy
Look,
on
just
a whim.
because something's powerful doesn't mean it's a good. Look around you.
I don't know if it's good or bad, but you destroying it without even us having a talk. I mean,
Hey, you know,
I didn't even
I
get a
was
chance
being-
to look at it.
hey, it is. Look, with the rate things were going, I made a decision. The decision is done.
Without
no getting around
consulting
this.
the group.
Look, we
I don't
were
know.
consulting the group. We were consulting the group for a long while. Jay wanted to destroy it. Rook did not. Suddenly, Rook wanted to keep it, and Rook wanted to destroy it, and Jay wanted to keep it. And it's just like flip-flopping all around. They're
I don't wanna
both
be
fighting.
rude.
Those two love each other in their weird own way, and they're fighting. Don't support this. It was weird. I didn't like it. This ritual around is really spooky, and my brother would have wanted me to rip the thing in half, which is what I did.
Are books and intellect your strong suit?
Awkward pause.
I'm not going to answer that question.
No, they are not. Next time there's an all-powerful
Oh,
book.
yeah, okay, look at this, look at this. You're basically telling me I'm not allowed to make decisions for myself because I do not have the intelligence of you.
If
That's
it is-
really rude, and I don't
If it is
appreciate it.
if it is an
I'm
item
walking
you,
away now.
oh, I can follow you and talk at your face. If it's an item that you get yourself, you can make your decision yourself. But this was a party item that you took into your own
But I
hands,
made a decision for the good of the party.
or the bad, you don't know.
Here's Phil. I would like
Alright.
you to go ahead and make a perception check for me, please.
Alright.
It can be our first roll of the night. Let's kick it off
Well,
good.
we're starting
Jesus,
off
okay.
strong.
That was almost a 1.
A 22.
A 22. You hear something. It sounds like an object falling in the back of the room. And as you look over, you see it. Amidst the sound of Jay and Rook holding one another, crying, and the sound of arguing that is getting further and further off into the tunnel, you see what looks like a crack that forms on the ceiling.
Guys.
Yeah.
Argue,
No, you know, I'm having a man talk with fucking Braxton.
argue,
Actually,
argue,
no, I
argue.
don't even respond. I'm just going, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
I'm like
I'm so sorry.
backing away from this crack. It doesn't seem to be widening.
Every now and then, as you're watching it and worried about the fact that no one seems to be really responding seriously, it grows an inch here, and then a few seconds go by and another inch.
We need to leave now. Now, come on, come on. I run over to the J and I start trying to get them up on their feet and push them towards the hallway.
Well, luckily,
let's go.
apparently,
Come on.
we're walking off.
We're leaving.
You guys
Go.
have no idea what's going on. Yours feels like talking about something, but you guys are still arguing off
Oh,
in the
I
hallway.
am fuming.
He is fuming. I am fuming. I'm fuming more.
No, you're
Come
not.
on, come on, come on.
Roll a fuming
We
check.
have to leave. We have to leave now.
Do
Come
you
on.
guys start to go as Earsfield tries to hurry you off?
Uh,
If Rook goes, Jay goes.
This is
Jay
a
goes, Rook
check
goes.
to. This is a perception check.
Perception check.
He's pretty perceptive today.
What is it here? What do you want?
There's a crack in the ceiling that's beginning to get bigger. Let's go.
Do I see the crack in the ceiling?
Do you have dark vision?
Yeah.
As you look over, yeah, you do. There's a crack forming like right over here in the back of the room, and it's growing.
Oh God.
Let's go. Come on.
Can I pick up Jay like a child?
You certainly can.
You can try out. I'm fucking decked out in heavy armor though, dude.
You use your orcish strength and grab a hold of the man, starting to try and drag him up to his feet. You pull him 1 or 2 feet up off the ground, and it looks like he's about to get up to his knees here when you hear the sound of a large boulder falling to the ground behind you.
Oh fuck, let's run.
Yeah, I'm like, book it. Let's go.
Mobile feet.
I like to think you like snap immediately out of it, like, all right guys, we gotta get out of here.
Mobile feet. I'm booking it with the mobile feet. I got
Okay.
extra 10 feet of movement.
You
I'm not
continue
I'm
running,
just stomping off.
and both of you, up further ahead, would also hear this rumble with no need of a perception check. The unmistakable sound of a cave-in beginning is easily heard by the two of you while you're arguing here, and footsteps running in your direction. You see the rest of the group approaching.
Run for your lives.
Oh God, the book wasn't
We'll
worth it.
continue
The
this
book
later.
wasn't worth it.
I
Why,
need
we're not-
The sky is
this
falling.
How am I in the back right now?
I need a dexterity saving throw from who's third in line there? Jay.
Oh great.
I'm readying my rope.
Specialty.
That's a D12, but you're welcome to roll that if you want.
Did I?
It's
Did they
already a
get
shit
flipped
show.
up? Oh, I only have. Oh.
Damn it, Josh.
I didn't
Do you
go
only
in
have
lines.
D12s?
No, I didn't do them in
Plus move
lines.
Speed. I am.
Hey, that's pretty good. That's a 16.
You start running, and it's like you can hear something above you. As you look up, you see the crack, which is practically chasing you here, and you're like halfway through the group. This is not good. It suddenly splits, and it moves off in 2 different directions, allowing an opening for a large rock to fall from the ceiling, and as it does, it crashes into the ground near you, as you just barely manage to jump out of the way.
Does it look like we're not going to beat this cave-in out?
It looks like you're running roughly at the same speed of the cave-in.
If it ever is
God
looking
damn.
grim, I have my rope in my hand. Be casting rope trick so we can all
Interesting.
hop in.
That would be bad. Don't do
That
that.
would be bad.
I would like everybody
Well,
to roll
it's better
either
than
an
falling
acrobatics
to our deaths.
or an athletics check, please.
Ah, yes. When my stubby legs do not fail me.
Oh shit! No!
Oh!
We hit each other.
One.
I
That's a
hit someone's dice and it
Is that jank?
You just-
right on the one.
Wow, whoever threw that red die, Jacob, you just Jacob'd a guy with your own roll.
Is that jank?
That's what he gets for
Yeah,
arguing with me.
Which one?
Nah,
This?
it's,
Well, I
No,
just
it's three.
moved it. I just moved it. I clicked the Q on it, and it went down by 1. It
Oh, go
wasn't
ahead and
blurred.
roll it then. Yeah, you can re-roll it.
It was pretty jank.
I want to say I have
it's
a
a 10.
24.
So, what were the rolls?
16.
Okay, good.
Making sure.
And
Yeah,
now one.
24.
13 for me.
Did anybody get less than a 5 other than that nat 1?
Nope.
No,
I think
okay.
we're good.
I'll take that silence as a rocks fall, you die. You're running here, and Braxton, you're starting to lag behind the group a little bit. Jade, despite all of his weight, moves with surprising speed. He's soon ahead at the front here. Ears feel close behind him. You can see Rook and Yuri huffing it as well, and you're falling back a little bit. A large boulder falls down to the left of you. It's not even so much a boulder from the ceiling as it is just the wall falling apart. The whole thing begins to crumble, and what looks like a sheet of rocks fall down in front of you. I need a dexterity saving throw.
No one
Come
else
on.
to hit this time. Oh, no.
shit.
That's a
Oh
7.
no. Oh no.
Gonna roll for luck. Alright, it's not too bad. A large rock falls from the ceiling, and you take 4 damage. But as it does, and it strikes you, I need you to make a strength saving throw.
No,
Or
that's
sorry, a
not-
constitution saving throw. Oh, it's getting worse.
Jesus.
A 4.
That's some rook rolls.
Oh, God.
The damage it does to your body is one thing. It's painful, and you hear the sound of what might be perhaps a small bone breaking as it hits you in the back. But what's worse is it winds you, and you fall prone to the ground here. Another rock falls from the ceiling in these large sheets, which are now falling off. I need you to make...
I'm rope tricking and getting in there.
You're gonna rope trick? Okay.
As I hear him cast rope trick, can I like glance over my shoulder and use my last 2nd level spell slot to try and like so overheal him that he like feels like he can continue to run?
Roll perception for me. Because
Okay.
this is a really loud event. You might have no idea he's doing anything like that.
Oh no! That's a 10.
You have no idea. It's just you're running as fast as you can, trying to dodge rocks that are falling in front of you as well, and you have no idea what's happening right now as far as Braxton goes.
Do I
Braxton,
notice that Braxton
can-
is in trouble?
you can absolutely roll perception if you'd like.
Alright, let's do that. Not that I can help too much, but
7.
that's a nat 20.
Nice. Okay, so
Yeah, 21
Rook,
on
you
my
got
part.
nothing. The other two, you would hear what sounds like Braxton casting a spell. So in that split second, do either of you have something you want to do? There's
Oh,
not
boy.
enough time to tell like Jay to heal or whatever. It has to be of your own accord, and it might impede your own progress depending on what that action is. But you see
Alright.
and hear him for a brief moment going to cast a spell.
I'll throw healing word at him.
Okay, yeah, he's
Um,
close enough for that.
That's a
Nice.
4.
It's all
4
going
health.
wrong so fast. Okay,
I mean, that gets him up to full.
you heal that 4
Wow.
HP, Braxton.
So I'm back
I
to
wanna-
full.
Yeah.
I am like continuing to run, but keeping an eye on him to see what he does.
Okay. You
And I
see,
want to make a mental note of how far, like how much longer we run after it,
Yep, same here.
like where he is within the cave structure. I guess.
Braxton, you go ahead and hold out the rope for a moment, finishing the spell. A surge of magical energy hits you right before you go to pull yourself inside, and as you do, everything is calm once again. However, from inside of this strange magical spell, as you look down to see where the rope dangles, you see nothing but darkness through that portal. It is calm as you sit in some extra-dimensional space. As far as things go for the group, you had all managed to run roughly about 3/4 out of the thing, and that's when Braxton was taken. At this point, if you had to guess, having just made your way out of here successfully, Braxton is probably behind maybe about 60 to 80 feet of rock. If he's alive, if you can get to his corpse. Like, those of you who saw the spell might have some hope, but to anybody else who didn't notice this, and you look behind, Braxton is just not there, and there's just rock from the ceiling and everything.
Okay.
Where's Braxton? Where
What
Where
happened
is
to
he?
Braxton?
Hey, he looked like he used some of his magic. Not really sure what he is. Not really a magician.
Yes.
Hey,
All
anybody
right.
got a pick?
Back there.
I'll take out my pick and I just start hammering. Start going in.
Oh my god, I'm gonna help him. I don't have a pick, but I have fucking Mason's tools.
I'm gonna
Do
give
what I can.
Rook what is it, bull's strength?
Ah. Is that
Whatever
advantage
the-
on strength checks?
Yeah, whatever the strength one is.
Okay.
With my last level 2 spell slot. You gotta get him out of there fast. I don't know how long he can survive.
Rook, I would like
I
you
will
to...
use
What's up?
my second wild shape to turn into a giant badger, which has a burrowing speed.
Ah. What is its burrow speed?
I will tell you in just a second.
Gosh.
I want to attempt to make a pick using all my tools.
Okay.
The giant badger has a burrow speed of 10 feet.
Gotcha. Okay, so the badger's not made for going through solid rock, but because it's all broken up, you're able to shovel through it like with surprising speed here. And between you and the efforts that that Rook makes with his pick here, you guys start to dig your way through while Yuri goes to make his own pickaxe. I'd like both you and Rook, since you're both working on this immediately, to go ahead and make for me some checks. Athletics from the both of you, please.
Alright, let's see.
There's no way I can like action surge to improve this, can I?
I'd allow that. You could burn action surge to
That's not gonna
roll a
help.
second time after this.
I'm rolling with advantage because of bull strength.
Yep.
So
Well, that's a 1, unless I get
Jesus
something
Christ.
from having a burrow speed.
Can I
Roll again
action
for
surge?
action surge, yeah.
with advantage?
Yep. Because bull strength is still active.
Man, double advantage.
Twice the advantage. 4 20s. Blaze it. Oh,
Fucking shit though. 16.
okay. You pick away as fast as you can. And what did you roll there? Did I hear a 1?
You heard a 1, unless I get something from having a burrow speed. That's
Gotcha.
a 1 plus
Okay.
4.
So basically what happens is Rook, you, empowered by Jay's magic here, feel like a surge of strength. But you're not really familiar with this at all. And so, despite the fact that you have all the power behind you and everything, you find that it's actually kind of difficult to make much headway with just the pick. You get lucky every now and then striking somewhere and managing to move like a sizable rock out of the way, but it's slow going. And Irisville, you're able to move the rock around with a degree of ease, but this new body of yours is clumsy, and you haven't used it often, and it's kind of... You're definitely not moving close to the 10 feet burrow speed. You're actually going at like a comparable speed to Rook here, whose like muscles are like bulging and is throwing the pickaxe as fast as he can.
Alright.
So the two of you are going ahead here, and Braxton, I have some questions for you.
Yes.
Rope trick, how long does it last?
1 hour.
1 hour. Okay.
Can I be doing some things in there while
Absolutely.
they're doing their thing?
What are you thinking?
Well, I know well, for one, I can see out of this hole. Is the rock like right there? Like there's a rock.
Ah, you see just darkness.
Okay, I slowly like put my palm out to like pat to see if there's like a rock right there.
Yeah, you can feel what must be like a jagged rock face there. And as you kind of motion around and everything, it's like there's a pocket maybe like 1 foot across. You can feel like a little bit of your rope that dangles there, and the rest of it seems to be like taut.
There's a
crushed by
small
some rock.
pocket right outside of it.
Yes.
Okay, can I give a little peek out? Is there
Sure.
any like cracks to look through?
Unfortunately, it's way too dark for you to see anything. And as you
Okay.
kind of pop your head out, you find that there's barely enough space for you to get your head outside of the rope trick. But it's actually, the first thing that you notice is it's actually kind of cold here, and then you noticed afterwards that you feel short of breath.
I'll pull back in, and I know I don't have any spells, but I do have a spell book of unknown spells that may help me. So I think I'll start rapidly leafing through that.
Time to start reading. Okay. Meanwhile, the rest of you continue, and I would like you to make the same checks that the two of you did before.
All right.
It's worth
Fingers
noting
crossed.
that Bull's strength doubles his carry capacity. I don't know if that doubles the amount he can lift too, but he might be able to get bigger chunks than usual.
Okay.
That's a 15.
Oh fuck. Oh, that's good though. 23.
You all continue, and the first little while is rather difficult, but soon you manage to work at a rhythm, passing rocks to one another and burrowing as fast as you can. You continue further and further. 10 minutes go by, and then another 20 minutes go by. And then I would like both of you to roll perception.
All right.
How's this pick
Good,
coming
this.
along?
13.
15.
Irisville, you see what looks like a small little bit of rope that kind of tumbles down from behind like a little rock here up towards the ceiling.
I will smack Rook with one of my paws and then like point and like hit it. And then begin digging in that direction.
Braxton, you've been seated there and have attempted to familiarize with Neil's notes. Strange gnome has certainly a way of writing, but you're getting a little bit more used to it. The last time you had looked at it, you were starting to understand the shorthand as well, and you flip through a couple of pages when suddenly you see a dim light that seems to emanate from the portal.
I'll peep out
Okay?
and say, over here, I'm up here.
Braxton's head suddenly appears from nowhere towards the top of the rock here. And Braxton, you can now escape if you would like.
Can I just grab his head and yank?
You escape, but not of your own volition, and Rook pulls you out.
As soon as I see his head, I just drop the pickaxe and just grab him and pull.
Okay? He is
I'm
out.
coming. You don't have to pull me.
I'll get you out.
I will turn back into myself.
Because that was like a solid, hour of just manning.
You were there for
You
like
know?
20, 30 minutes, yeah.
I'm
While
like,
they're
like just fall over and just rest.
Okay.
while they're in there, can I be like at the mouth of the tunnel, like using light to kind of start checking the integrity of the rest of the cave structure? Like, do I think this is gonna spread? That's a pretty substantial cave-in.
That's a good question. Make an investigation check, please.
15.
15. You're not familiar with this landscape. The Underdark is a foreign land to you. But as you look at the cave here, which is now just fallen apart, and you stare at it, you get a feeling that you're probably safe, at least for the time being, and you don't see growing cracks or fissures that look particularly dangerous in the rock. But it's as much a investigation check as it is an insight check, and you don't know how much of it is exactly your gut telling you this and how much is theory that you've got that is actually going to turn out to be true.
Okay. If I get a chance, while we're over here, I'll ask the dwarf to check it out as well, since I know dwarves are usually more knowledgeable about this kind of thing
Okay.
than I am.
Do you want to give it a look, Yuri?
Well, did I ever finish my pick?
I would say that you probably would have finished your pick, maybe right as they were finishing. So you can add a pick to your inventory. Go ahead and
Okay.
subtract a couple planks and some metal. but you would not
I
have
don't
been able
have
to
any
help
of that.
out.
This would have been like a really makeshift pick from like the random stuff I have in my toolkits.
Do you have like anything like really solid metal? Because I know
Give me
you
one
have those
second.
sheets, but that would not work for a pickhead.
No, he's talking about like scavenging the tools that he has in his other kits to try to build a pickaxe.
Yeah, but like you would lose those portions of those tools if you did that.
Yeah, I think that's.
Right. What?
So-
What? Sorry, Mom, I was asking you something.
So are you cannibalizing some of your own tools to make this? Because you will have to then get the tools again.
Yeah, I was planning on cannibalizing whatever I can.
Okay. You managed to make a pickaxe. And with your different proficiencies, I will say that you can add to your inventory a proper pickaxe of your own make. You're quite good at crafting things, and your knowledge is wide sweeping across a good deal of different things. However, you now have an incomplete mason's kit, and will have to go and purchase the rest of the tools in order to use that tool set again later.
What specifically, like, were there specifics to the mason's tools or just a variety? Because I do have 2 chisels.
It would be one of the chisels that would be used up.
Okay, so I still have, like, when you make a clan crafter, you get a specific chisel that comes with it. So, like, I have 2 chisels.
Okay, yeah, you could substitute that then instead of your tools. So that is currently consumed, and you have a pickaxe.
I would like to keep the clan chisel and just use the regular ass chisel,
Sounds good.
if possible. Okay, nice. So now I don't have a regular chisel.
Yeah. So you finish this up, but thankfully, as you're finishing it, it appears that Braxton is saved. You see off in the distance as Rook pulls him out, and congratulations are exchanged here, and Earsfield turns back. Jay comes up to you and asks you to inspect the rock. Do you give it a gander?
I can give it a look, see? I'm not really
It's
sure
like-
how much I'll be able to tell, though. It's a cave.
There's like probably like 10 to 12 different like light spells cast around the entrance to the cave.
The entire cave is just been lit up.
I really wanted to see.
Roll that stone cunning, please, Yuri.
Proficiency and twice proficiency.
Lit.
That should be a 19. Not a 19. A 18. An 18.
18.
18.
Looking here at the stone, you're certain that this tunnel has completely caved in, and
Actually, it is a 19.
looking at where the fissure seems to go, you actually don't think that this is the last of the cave-ins. You're worried about the structure of the rest of the cave, and if you had to guess, this portion here of the chasm, like the right-hand side here, is potentially in jeopardy.
Oh, jeez.
That's not good.
It all depends on how things decide to move. You can see that above the tunnel that you've just been in, which is collapsed, which is this one here, that the fissure kind of rides up and curves a bit and pauses. And you don't know if that's going to be finished and not move, or if something could upset it and then it could dramatically move off into other areas. The problems
Hey,
of
we
the
need to
Underdark.
move. Hey, we need to move, and we need to not go down. We need to go back to the northern place. Back to
All
the
right.
ancestors.
Let's
Are you
go
As
there.
they pull me out, I thank them with a sigh of relief, of course.
Of course.
Just
Now
get
let's
that
go.
out there.
That's what you get about arguing over evil things. When God comes to smite you.
I will stay at the back of the group this time, and keep an eye on and make sure no one falls behind. But walk
Goodbye, chasm.
just in case everything starts collapsing again.
Let's see. I'm going to roll some luck for you guys.
That's a 1.
Oh wow, well, it's a 2.
Oh!
You hear a rumbling.
Go.
Suddenly, the ceiling cracks open, and about 100 of the big beetle monsters come out.
You guys continue to walk, and you travel for a little bit, maybe about an hour along the way here. You pass one tunnel, you pass another as you get closer, but you don't quite make it into the dwarven city before you hear what must be a rumble behind you, and sure enough, it seems that Yuri was right. As you turn over your shoulders in awe and terror, you see the fissure that begins to expand, and it rides up and it starts to move over towards the right and runs along the wall here until it sounds like it might actually be going like really far around the way here. You can't actually see exactly where it goes, but you can hear it. I'd like everyone to roll a perception check.
When Braxton specifically avoids my die.
I waited on purpose.
No.
Does that count if it's on that thing?
Oh yeah,
All right, 18.
19.
18.
14.
13.
Anybody who gets a 15 can hear that it's roughly above the area where the stairway is when it stops. Nothing seems to break. You hear like a couple of like small stones that must be rolling down like a cliff face or something like that, or hitting the ground. But you don't hear anything like boulders or cave-ins, and then everything kind of stops.
The stairway?
This stairwell over here.
Wait,
So there's a
Yeah.
fissure that it sounds like it ran up over here and then it's kind of stopped, like right there.
Okay. Jesus.
Alright then.
hey, we shouldn't go back that way for ever.
Agreed. Well,
Stairs or sleep?
Either one.
I wouldn't mind going up and then sleeping.
it would be nice to have a bed. And
Trying to
That'd be
remember if
nice.
my character's exhausted.
Be nice to not have to worry about cave-ins while we're sleeping.
No, my character's not exhausted. That's right.
monsters or any of that.
Yeah, all the good stuff that we've been seeing.
Let's head up, I think.
I'm for heading up as well.
I will always miss you, you Dwarven Forge. You were good to me.
I don't think this is farewell.
I would like
Look at the crack.
everybody to go ahead and roll for me a perception check.
I just grabbed the real d20 in front of me.
It's another
Nice.
nat 20.
Oh wow.
9.
Mine's 6. Don't worry about that.
I got a
17.
non-natural 20.
Okay. Irisville, you hear something at first. As you guys are walking past this dwarven area in order to go and make your way over towards the long stairwell back up to the city, you hear something. It sounds like a coin dropping from deep within the dwarven city. And Rook, you barely hear this too. And then, Irisville, you hear what sounds like some sort of creature cackling to itself. Like,
What?
I stare at Ira in the eye.
Yeah, I look at Rook like wide eyes, and I look back at the city. I'm like, there's something in there.
We have to kill it.
What?
We have to kill it.
What's in there?
Hey, we have to kill it. It's in my home.
I didn't hear anything. What is it?
There was a
I
coin,
glance at-
and then
A coin?
Glance at Jay.
Cackling.
We have to.
I
Is
have.
it these ghost things that have been following us? It is just
don't know.
teasing us.
I have no spells. I am completely spent. But I will
You
go
think if
with
it wanted to
guys where
kill
you
us,
choose.
it would like kill us
What did you
already.
use all your spells on? I'm trying to remember.
I raise my hand.
I'm I'm pretty low on resources as well.
Think about it like this. This thing's been following us for who knows how long. You think if it wanted to fight, it would have fought us by now.
those of you who didn't hear anything suddenly get your first taste of it, as everybody hears, much louder this time, like a and then the sound of what must be either furniture or something like metallic falling over and clattering onto the ground.
It's a treasure goblet.
We're
I
killing
know,
it.
that's what I thought of too. Sounds just like a treasure.
I'm gonna
treasure
start
goblin.
heading that way. Then
Okay.
Hey, just knowing something's in my dwarven home. Also, I do think I'm exhausted. I feel like I must be exhausted.
nah, you fine.
No, but like we killed the bug, but we didn't take a long rest after killing the bug, so I have to be exhausted, wouldn't it?
I think we took a long rest, but it was not a sleeping long rest. So
It's
that's
a
why
long rest.
we
Probably
don't have
exhausted.
spells back.
Like that's the thing. If y'all don't have, I thought we took a long rest, but if y'all don't have spell slots, that means I'm exhausted. If y'all have spell slots,
I
I
have
have spell
godlike
slots, so I feel like we took a long rest.
But you get spell slots from short rest.
That's true.
You're all standing in the
used-
doorway when then you hear another sound. This comes from within the Dwarven city as well, but it's not what you want to hear. It sounds like a rumble. Again, as though another fissure may be forming.
Nope, guys,
Okay.
let's go. To the
Can I like
stairs.
just kick open the door and look at it?
Yeah, I want to know what the fuck
yeah,
that
yeah,
thing
yeah,
is.
yeah, yeah. Just,
I'm
just open
taking
the
a-
fucking door.
I'm taking a peek. I don't even care.
Okay.
I'm kicking open the door.
A few of you step into
wanna-
the city for a brief moment to look around. You hear the sound of a couple of stones that fall from the ceiling and land in the Great Hall here. The structural
Guys.
integrity of the
Character
city
Josh.
might be failing. Off towards the right, where there is the long hallway that leads to different types of rooms, including the blacksmith, you hear a bunch of skittering noises, like small footfalls landing on stone and running with a decent haste to them.
How like? Can I just stay at the doorway for a second and
Sure.
watch the fissure?
Sure. As you stand there and look towards it, it seems to pause. The rumble disappears. Maybe it was nothing. But while
I
this
will
is
cast-
happening and you're paying attention to the fissure, the sounds off down that right side hallway never seem to cease. They're always going. There's constant skittering, moving around, and what sounds like just constant and almost like manic rummaging.
I'm sending the bird. We gotta know what's over there.
Okay.
I will cast Longstrider on myself and like start creeping my way that direction.
I'll give the bird a light pebble so it
Okay.
can actually see.
Genius.
What's your distance that you get that you can see through its eyes? 120?
Believe so. I'll double check.
Okay.
Uh, 100. Just 100.
Okay. With 100, given that you're up here near the entrance, you're able to get the bird like in and then to turn and look down the hallway, but it can't really go far down the hallway, and as you kind of look with its sight here, it's pitch black, as you would imagine, and the light of the pebble that Jay has given you is all that you're able to use. You don't see anything down there, just the dark hallway. And Earsville, as you get closer here, the bird has kind of like flown ahead of you at this point. And you can still hear, like, sounding, like, you know, more and more certain, like there's some horrible rummaging coming from down the hallway.
Okay. I will continue heading that direction and try to get a spot on what it is quietly.
Okay. I would like you to stealth check, please.
Alright. I didn't say I casted guidance, because I keep forgetting. That's a jinx.
Please reroll.
Too bad.
That was
That would've
one
been
to
real
go
nice.
to the 18. Oh, hey!
That's a 24.
Okay. Stealthily, you make your way over, and you are now at the entrance of the hallway here. Braxton, do you retract the bird, or do you, like, move further in and then send it out?
If I
again,
can't
or-
see anything, I'm just gonna bring it back.
Okay.
No
Earsville, what
point.
do you want to do? The bird has left.
Good. I'm gonna keep going inwards and try to spot whatever this is.
Okay. You head further in, and whatever this thing is, whatever it might be, it doesn't make any attempts at being quiet. And as you start to go further down the way, you're easily able to pass one room, then the other, and even kind of keep your eye on a certain door further down the hall here, which you're fairly certain it must be behind. You have 60 feet of dark vision as a wolf, right?
As a elf, yes.
Oh, as an elf. Do you have
Yes,
any...
I am not a wolf. I am an elf.
Oh, okay. I thought you had... You just cast Longstrider and then were walking off.
Yes.
Okay, gotcha. So, as you're heading further up, you see what looks like the door jittering for a second as something hits it, and the whole thing sort of shakes for a brief moment. Dust is disturbed and drifts throughout this very, very old hallway. And then, something happens. I'd like you to go ahead and roll another perception check for me.
All right. Wow. That is a
Yeah.
not hearing anything.
You hear another strange noise that comes from over there. You're not entirely sure what it is, but then everything kind of goes silent.
So the door is closed.
Yes, and
God
The
damn
brief
it, treasure
movement.
goblin escaped.
of something hitting it seems to have stopped.
Okay. Preparing myself to turn and run, I'll push open the door and see what this is.
Okay. As you push this open, you see what looks like a regular living quarters of some sort. Over towards the corner, there is a bed which has been overturned, like flipped over, and there's cloth laying on the ground, and everything else in here, furniture-wise, has been just knocked over and smashed. Okay?
Okay.
As you look around, it looks like it's been stripped bare. What do you want to do?
There's no creature in here?
No, there's nothing. But what's interesting is there's, like, the drifting of dust particles in the area, like something has been disturbing this place just moments ago. But you see nothing.
Okay. I'll, like, peek behind the door, make sure there's nothing hiding there, and take a good look around the room.
Okay. Suspecting the oldest trick in the book, you look around the door here, but there's nothing there. And as you examine the room more carefully, you begin to feel like whatever was in here a moment ago suddenly isn't. There's no way it could be. There's nowhere for it to hide. At first, it seemed like there could, but as you took your time and examined the different things, it turned out to be that you're alone in here.
What into his name? Okay. I'll make my way back out to the hallway,
Okay.
whispering the incantation for guidance to myself,
Okay.
and just pause.
Alright. I would like everybody that is not Erisfiel to go ahead and make for me a perception check, please.
My rolls have been on point.
That was a 5.
Yeah, I got an 11.
I got an
Yeah.
8.
Yeah, 15.
Okay.
Got an 8.
Nice. An 11, an 8, and a 15.
Yeah.
Okay.
Another 8.
Who got the 15?
Braxton.
Okay. Braxton. You hear something. The group is up here, and your raven has returned. You have your normal senses, and the 4 of you are waiting to see what happens with Erisfiel. You tentatively look around to see if maybe the roof is about to cave in, or these strange noises might come back. And then you feel something. It's like an ever so light tug on your backpack.
Turn around, grab.
Oh, okay. Go ahead and make for me a athletics check, please.
While
Oh,
I scream, it's here. So maybe the others understand what's happening. Oh, please. Okay. 12.
12? Okay.
Oh no.
I'm not strong.
You turn around, and as you do, you see 2 red, beady, glowing eyes, followed by a grin of white and jagged teeth. There is some sort of horrid creature about 3 feet tall that has an incredibly large sack slung over its back, and an outstretched hand reaches for your
Awesome.
backpack. You can see in his hand what looks like... What do you have in your inventory, buddy?
It's gonna be the fucking level 8 spell scroll.
No! Please no.
I've got ink, a pen, parchment, knife, winter coat, some
Okay.
bones, Sparky's spell book, the scroll.
Yep. I'm gonna roll for your group's luck. The worse this
Wow.
roll is, the worse it's gonna be for what item's in his hand.
Wow.
Okay, well that's a 7. That's not great.
but it's
You
not.
see somehow this scrawny,
World.
little, insignificant, but incredibly evil-looking creature has managed to pocket what looks like Neil's book. He has it in his hand here and is bringing it towards him. As you turn around, you quickly shout that it's here. You lunge to try and grab it, and it moves away with a quickness and starts running away from you. As it does, despite its tiny little legs, it moves incredibly hastily, and the whole time, as if playing some sort of childish game with you, it cackles like some sort of escaped insane asylum patient. It just runs off towards the exit.
I can
of
still
the
see
city.
it though.
You can, yeah.
I'll
Do
run
I
after it.
hear this?
Sprint at it.
Irisville, you're far away enough down the hallway that no, you wouldn't be aware of this. You would probably hear Braxton's voice call out loudly for a brief moment, though.
How
Okay.
like
Then
how
I'm booking it back
Okay.
that direction.
how wide is this hallway it's running down?
It's running for the entrance. You guys are like maybe 20 or 30 feet into the city, so it's just like it's booking it and is going to be at
Is
the
there like a
chasm.
doorway it has to go through?
There are large gates to the city, but they are open, so it's not like there's anything to stop it.
Can I cast Flaming Sphere right in the doorway? Maybe it will
It would not be enough to cover the whole thing.
not be enough. Okay.
Can I look at it?
You can certainly
With
try.
Fury?
Can we?
Can I cast
Okay.
Ray of Sickness on it instead?
Absolutely. Yep.
I would love to do that.
Okay, so Rook, I want from you an athletics check, please.
What about me? I want to book at it.
Yeah, go for it.
Oh yes. Oh. What? What is that? Did you see that? What the fuck?
Yeah, that was
booking.
pretty weird.
That was horseshit.
Oh my god, my rolls tonight have been based.
The fucking dice like turned after it was done. Oh,
I got a
I'm
15.
so mad.
I
What do we
got
have for athletics
25.
checks?
I have a 25.
Okay. Rook, you run as fast as you possibly can, but you can't keep up with this thing. A magical beam of green, sickly energy flies out and misses the creature by a few feet. And you can see running up ahead, getting a bit further than everybody else, Yuri is huffing it as best that he can, but he still cannot meet the creature's speed. It gets outside, onto the chasm here, and then quickly turns around the way, making its way past the door, so that you can no longer see it. 3 of you are currently in pursuit, and I assume Braxton's moving as well, though he'll be a
I'm
bit
in
delayed.
pursuit.
Yeah. And Irisville, you're running pretty fast, so you'll catch up with them, but you are also at a starting disadvantage here.
I mean, I would like to mention that I have a movement speed of
Like 50?
55 right
Yeah.
now, with dash and key points if I decide to use them.
Do you want to use key points? Because that would definitely help.
When I see everybody running after something, then yes.
Okay, absolutely. So you cast a key point, and soon you're about, like, right up to Braxton. So it's like you and Braxton close in the back, with the other 3 just making their way around the gate. Okay? The first one to peer around the gate is you, Yuri. And you can see right over here, like by the edge of the wall, the creature is currently taking the book and stuffing it into his backpack, and then turns around and waves its hand in front of it, and what looks like a magical red portal explodes in front of it. What do you want to do? The 3 of you
Shoot it
just
with a
round the
crossbow.
corner. Shoot
Am
it
I
with a
there too?
crossbow?
Shoot it. I want to shoot it with a crossbow.
Okay, go ahead and make an attack. It's close enough that there's no way you would have disadvantage. What do you want to do, Rook?
Wait, do I round the corner too?
Yep, you're around the corner.
Oh no!
Oh my god.
Tell me when I get to see it again.
I too shoot a crossbow at it.
Okay, go for it, Rook.
Heavy one.
My crossbow bolt is so bad it deflects Rook out of the way.
You and Ira might get a chance here, but only if these guys can slow its progress.
17.
Oh, 17 hits. Go ahead and roll damage.
Should use the fucking pick, the one with the fucking chisel on it, with a rope.
Illusion, I'm firing a sacred flame to try and make him move out of the way.
Okay,
His,
7 damage.
7 damage. Okay. And then, Jay, go ahead and make your, or let's see, dexterity saving throw.
yeah, it's probably
He passes.
yeah.
Which means he needs to move,
Okay.
which hopefully will slow him down.
The shot flies out, and the first one misses. Your bolt, Yuri, taps against the wall and falls harmlessly. The creature is giggling the whole time, and then suddenly your shot hits it, Rook. And as it does, it screams out, seemingly in pain, but at the same time, it's almost like it's laughing. Like you have merely started to play the game, and it is pleased that you have joined. As this happens, it turns over in your direction and then continues running further down. The portal behind it collapses, and it goes further down the way here.
I love it. It's a treasure goblin. It's amazing.
It's a fucking treasure goblin, man.
At this point,
Am
the
I-
two of you would have rounded the corner. You are probably about 30 feet away from the rest of them, but you can also see this creature, which is running fast as much as it can down that way. So we'll turn to you guys right now, Earsfield and Braxton. Ears? Yeah, you two. What do you want to do?
Be like, what is that? As I book it.
It's got
to the rest of the
Sparky's book. It's a goblin.
Alright, yeah, I'm just sprinting all
I'm
out.
s-
Let's
yeah,
do
sprint-
this.
sprint.
So you're going
is
to try
what
and
I'm
catch
doing.
up to it. And Braxton,
Yes.
you are as well. Braxton,
Sprinting, yeah.
I'll burn my second key point as well.
I'd like you to go ahead and make a perception roll for me, Braxton.
Come on, baby. Give me something good. Oh, you fucker. Not good.
Okay. You try to keep up as best that you can, and Irisville, you catch up to the rest of the group pretty quickly. At this point, I'm going to roll to see what the creature does. And then
Am
we'll
I
get back
gaining
to you.
it all with my mobile? I have 40 feet movement.
You are barely keeping up with it.
It's fast, man. But that means the arrow's catching up.
Okay, well, that's another pretty bad luck roll.
Jumps off the cliff.
God dang.
The creature turns around and reaches into its backpack for a brief moment. It's only for a split second. It's incredibly dexterous and speedy, but it seems to pull out exactly what it wants, and it throws it behind it. And you watch as some sort of object flies throughout the darkness here and then hits the ground, and you hear the sound of glass breaking.
Oh boy.
Uh-oh.
You're all running here in the dark, but some of you have dark vision. Those of you with dark vision can see what looks like a pool of liquid that has now been placed in the space of your pursuit. You can go around it, but it will cause you to lose a little bit of momentum here, or you can attempt to jump over it. But
Can I
that
cast
potentially
Can-
not.
Sensors
What does
disc
the
on
liquid
it?
look like?
Oh.
For you, it's black and white, so it just looks like a black pool on the ground.
Uh-huh.
Because nobody really has any light here.
Can I shoot
Can
a
I
crossbow
cast
bolt at it?
Tensor's disc on the fucking thing so they can hop on it and get across quicker?
Tensor's disc just floats behind you, so no.
Well, it does have a
Float
range
behind.
of 30 feet. It would just immediately draw it towards him.
Yeah.
Well, it floats in an unoccupied space of my choice in range.
If you can cast it within 30 feet of you, I would allow you to use it as a stepping stone.
I can, yeah, just within range, as long as it's within range, anywhere
Okay.
I can cast it.
You are behind the group right now, though, so it would have to be a pretty coordinated thing to cast this and have all them jump on it at the right time.
Did we mention it? Because he's a human. He doesn't have dark vision.
That's
This
true.
is not to scale either. So, what do you guys want to do? Let's start with you, Jay. What are you thinking?
Jay can't see anything in the dark here,
Yeah.
so I am just still full on sprinting at the creature. I mean, I probably would have heard the glass shatter, but I'm just full on sprinting straight at him.
Okay. I would
All
like
I
you to
see
go
are
ahead
his
and make
glowing
for me
eyes.
a dexterity saving throw, Jay.
Oh, joy. I love these.
They're the best.
Oh.
Yeah, you're the best at these.
Okay. Rook, what are you doing?
Is he in my dark vision to shoot at? So,
Yes.
I'm gonna go up 30 feet,
And
my
shoot
movement,
again.
take the shot at it.
Are you gonna avoid the pool or go through it like Jay is? You can see he's running just beside you, maybe like 1 or 2 feet in front, and he's going straight for it.
Oh fuck! Can I jump it? Does it look jumpable?
You can certainly try. Go ahead and
Okay,
make
I'll-
for me an acrobatics check or athletics, your choice.
Athletics. Ooh,
Nice.
22.
Okay. I want you to make your shot now as well. And we'll say
Okay.
for the sake of awesomeness that you do them both at the same time.
I would also like to scream out, light on my bolt.
Okay. That's probably not going to happen, but...
Yeah, it's gotta
Oh
be.
no!
Fucking
What?
candle.
What did that hit?
Candle block!
Hit the candle.
That
Hit the
I don't even
candle.
see a candle there.
That's a 12.
Okay,
I don't see a candle on my screen.
you managed to easily jump this, but when you fire out your shot, unfortunately it misses. The bolt clatters over the ground. Irisfield, what do you want to do? Just keep running faster? You know that you will eventually
How-
start to outrun Jay and Rook.
Okay. Then what I'm gonna do is I will reach over and smack Jay as I run past him, casting Long Strider on him.
Interesting.
You know, feet 50 move speed. Then I will
Nice.
burn my final key point for Step of the Wind, which triples my jump distance, and take this, just jump over this puddle.
Okay, so you can jump that with ease. How much funny... Like, what do you have for spell slots?
That's it.
Oh, okay. Well, there we go. Make the most of this, Jay. Next up is Yuri. What do you want to do, Yuri? You can still see it within your dark vision as well. There's the pool in front of you. It looks like the rest of your companions are just gonna gun it. Like, they're just running for it right now.
Interesting. It's too bad I don't have my sled. No, fucking gunning it.
Okay, you're gunning it as well.
I
And
want to do what Rook did.
you're gonna try and jump
shoot
it? Athletics
I want to
check,
jump it and
please.
then attempt to shoot it.
Okay, go for it. Let's do the
We
jump
determined I was
first.
exhausted, right? Yeah, I'm exhausted. Sadness.
Ugh.
Yeah, sadness.
Okay, well,
That's
let's
a
see
9.
about the shot then. Go for it. Regular crossbow shot, please.
19? 19.
Ooh.
No, more than 19. 21.
Okay. And Braxton, what do you want to do here? Just try and keep up with them as best you can?
Yeah, I want to just keep running, and if I see them running at that mysterious pool, I would cast disc and tell them to keep running at it and just trust me that they can step over it.
This is where it hits us right in the shin.
Well, yeah, it hovers, so this is going to be...
Like jump on the ledge. There's a disc there.
Smacks my shin.
Is the disc
Fucking
visible?
causing me to go face plant into it.
Okay. So here's what happens. All running here at the same time, a few actions take place at once. First up here is Jay. You see Irisfield starts to catch up to you and reaches out. She's running a bit faster than you, but the moment her hand touches you, a magic runs through your body, and suddenly you're Usain Bolt. And the moment that your foot touches with the ground here, you feel as all the friction disappears, and your foot just slides forward. But miraculously, with your insane roll there, you just go shoop straight across and just end up like it speeds you up, and you end up actually like ahead of the group here. And even though Rook manages to jump over the thing and take a shot, and Irisfield is like actually running faster than you, like you speed up from just sliding across the thing super fast. Yuri, you're with them too, just trying to keep up, and Braxton, you're getting a bit closer as well. One of you actually hit. Yuri, your shot landed, but you failed horribly on the thing here trying to get across the pool. You slip out and fall, but not before landing a shot that actually hits. So go ahead and roll damage.
Yes.
You are equivocally out of the race past this point, but you might manage to do something with your shot.
Oh,
no!
Fuck. Hell. 3 damage.
Okay, your shot flies out, and you think that you actually hit it with like a glancing shot, but it keeps running off. At this point, Jay, the creature, is probably about 40 feet ahead of you. Okay, I'm just gonna use one of these tokens for the time being. Let's see here. You guys have done your bit. Let's see what the creature decides to do. Let's roll luck for your party again. Wow, you guys are not making the luck rolls happen here.
God dang it.
The creature runs over and let's see here. Turns around to see that you are all still following, and then cackling maniacally, reaches into his bag and throws out something else. And you see what looks like a blinding light, Jay. And then suddenly, from the blinding light, form comes out, and sound. And you see what looks like a cloud of chickens out of nowhere.
What the hell?
Keys?
I want to kill this thing just to get its stuff.
Okay. A blinding light flashes out, and you see what looks like 2 to 3 dozen chickens just materialize out of nowhere. You collide into them. Jay, what are you trying to do right now?
I am
Just trying to run through them?
raising my shield
Okay. Nice.
to block my face, or perhaps have like one eye out. I don't want to like block all vision of the creature, but at the same time I don't want a beak in the face. But I'm just like, anything these chickens are doing to me, I'm just gonna take it as I keep sprinting through. I want to tackle this motherfucker.
Okay.
I mean,
Make
those
either
are
an
opportunity
athletics or an
attacks on you for
acrobatics check.
chickens.
You come up with only a handful of chickens.
Oh my
God.
Oh,
Jay, what a monster.
21.
Okay.
It's a shard of
Was that good
madness.
friend of mine?
That's
You're
a
running
match.
ahead and you hold up your shield. The feeling of poultry slams against it as you run through the cloud. And as you emerge from it, you move your shield to the side, giving you a full view of the creature. You're actually catching up to it. It seems to have paused for a moment to turn around and laugh at you, but then you see the look of surprise on its face as you leap forward and go to grab it. Go ahead and make for me a grapple check, please. Athletics or acrobatics.
do it again, kid.
The creature rolls a...
Do I get
No,
any
not the
advantage
candle.
from him
Not
being
the
surprised?
candle.
Candle. It's
No, it's
Jake's.
janked. It's janked.
Oh, it is, yes.
It's janked.
Quick, roll it.
I'm waiting
Stop
for
running
I-
the fucking
yeah.
candle.
I see a 6, but the creature rolled a
Look-
2. You
Look at it on the
barely
side,
grab
though.
it.
If you look at it on the side, it's janked.
It doesn't. It's
It's
okay.
fine.
It's okay. It doesn't
It's
matter.
fine, we won. I'm not gonna reroll it and get a 1.
You jump forward and manage to grab a hold of the creature. It's incredibly squeaky, though. You're like the edge, the very tips of your fingers manage to grab around, and there you have it. A handhold on the creature's ankle. It turns to leave, and it screeches. No longer is this a game of laughter. It's like, and just is attempting to get away from you as fast as it can. It holds out its hand, and you see what looks like a portal that opens up in front of it here in the ground, and it pulls its bag off and opens the bag above the portal, and you watch as what looks like untold treasures falling from the bag and tumbling into this portal.
Can I like let go of him and like wrap my arm around the bag to like seal it? Like maybe not wrench it from its grasp, but I want to like try and grab the bag.
Your arm reach is not far enough to get to the bag,
Okay. In
because
that
you're
case, I'll
fully
keep holding on to
outstretched,
that.
holding onto his ankle.
Can I
Laying
get
on
to
the ground.
bag then?
Can I? Well, okay. Another question then.
Mhm.
If I, with my other hand, since I'm only holding on to him with one, could I swing my mace and like knock the bag back, perhaps like stopping some of it from spilling out?
You can certainly try. Go ahead and make an attack for me. You're both on the ground, so nobody gets a advantage here.
No, that's only a 10.
Okay. You swing out, and the creature squirms. And as it does, you see that it seems to grab onto the edge of the portal here and attempts to pull himself in while shaking the bag with the other hand. It doesn't really have much strength, but it moves with such a speed that you find it difficult and slippery to kind of hold on to it. At this point, Irisville, you would have an opportunity to do something, but you're not within range to actually touch it. You're like 10 feet away by the time your movement finishes. What do you want to do?
Oh shoot! Seriously?
Yeah.
God dang.
I
must
got
have
really sped up.
boost
by
out of that. Yeah.
Jay like
All right.
Superman through those chickens.
Okay. All right.
Throw a chicken at it.
Shoot. Okay. All right. Let's see. What do I have here? God dang.
So to picture
Not-
the scene, they're both prone on the ground. Jay is like covered in what looks like a black grease that has feathers attached to it everywhere.
He
And
got
he's-
tarred.
And he's
He got
holding
tired.
on to like its ankle here while it's like trying to shovel both itself and items into some magical portal.
Okay. So my movement finishes. I don't think I can use the dash action to like tackle into the bag and try to get it away from the portal.
Yeah, so your movement is done at this point.
Okay.
But if you
Then-
have like an attack or something like that, you definitely could attempt that.
Then I will reach into my pocket and take out the 3 remaining sparkle bags that I have and hurl them all at the creature's face, hoping
Interesting.
to stun it with a flash of light and
Okay.
sparkles and a bang.
Make an
Sparkles.
attack and do so like a normal attack,
Okay.
seeing as how it's squirming around with Jay.
That's a 16.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and make a roll for it, see if it can avert its gaze. Okay. Jay, go ahead and make for me a second grapple check, please.
Okay, not rolling into the candle this time.
Oh,
no! I should have rolled into the candle. It's only a 4.
Okay. The creature squirms, and it squirms, and it squirms, and you try to hold on to it as best you can as a bunch of flying and like exploding light erupts around you. As this happens, you feel like the foot hit into the side of your head here as the creature is squirming, and then it attempts to get away from you, and you try to hold on to it as best you can, and it actually doesn't manage to get away from you. You still have a grasp on the creature. It looks like it's partway into the portal here, however, and the last thing that you see before the whole grisly thing seems to end is the portal closes with the creature half in it, and you're holding nothing but a couple of legs that lead up to half a torso with some intestines that kind of spill out onto the ground. And near it is a mostly empty bag.
Hey.
Mostly.
I just grab the bag and pour it out, trying to scramble away from this creature. And
Okay.
wanna-
You just like limply it falls to the ground, a couple of legs attached to what's left of it. In the bag, I'm gonna roll luck and see how much you guys got.
Please have Sparky's book.
Alright, come on. One high luck roll, please.
Okay. This is gonna take a brief minute, folks.
May I go to the bathroom?
Please do.
I grabbed
Oh, yes.
The
Go
group
for it.
of
We'll take a brief
horrible
5-10 minute
waffles.
break, guys.
Yes.
What was
I'm
the roll,
just waiting
Josh?
for
We
his
finally
buckle
get
to
an
show
okay
up on the
luck
stream.
roll.
That was an 18 luck roll.
Oh,
Oh my god.
the
buddy.
one that
Yes.
the one luck roll that matters.
I mean, the creature rolled a 1 on its escape check the previous time, so we got double lucky. To Jay's 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm
I
gonna
was
go get
like,
some food
Jay
myself.
just rolled a 3. This thing's definitely getting away. Oh, it just rolled a 1. Never mind.
Like, yes! Alright,
Jesus.
I will be back.
Let's see what you guys got.
Yeah, I was ready to jump in that portal and go fight the fucking thing from Diablo.
The loot valve or the
Yeah.
the devourer. What's its fucking name?
She's like a big chick with like huge tits. I don't know, like a fat.
Jenny
gross
from the
thing.
block?
I wouldn't. I don't think that was her name.
Okay. Just checking. Just checking. Ooh. Okay.
I told you to guard
Greed.
that spellbook with your life.
The boss of the portal is called Greed.
Oh yeah, Greed. She looks like this.
Ring, 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 motherfucker.
Ring, ring, bitch. God, I can't believe I just held onto a creature's legs while it got severed by a portal.
Mm-hmm.
That's so fucking, like,
While covered in grease,
Ugh.
which has chicken feathers all over it, and
I
the
literally
sound of
got, like-
clucking around you.
I got, like, greased and feathered and somehow still caught this thing. Only to hold its legs while it screamed and cackled and got ripped into 2 halves.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh.
It's super satisfying to
And a bag.
find a treasure goblin in D&D. I love it.
My god, like, it like registered in my head. It's like, there actually a thing like that in D&D though?
When I heard the laughing and the coins, I was like, it fits the description.
No,
Then
no,
when
it,
it had
it
like,
has to be a treasure goblin.
then when it had like a little bag, you're just like,
It
oh, I
doesn't
love
exist. Like in canon, it doesn't. But I thought it would be fun.
Oh, it's great. I love it.
Oh yeah, no, I appreciate that.
Well,
Thanks, hilarious.
I rolled luck to see what would be in the dwarven ruins as you passed them, and I got a 20, and I was like, okay, well, let's see if anybody hears this obscure thing, and then Earsfield gets a 20, and I was like, okay, well, you hear a fucking coin drop off in the distance.
And then our
There we
natural
go.
20s got our book stolen and it escaped into the darkness.
The fucking giggle of a treasure goblin is always something that piques the ears.
Diablo players across the
The
world.
countless hours of Diablo. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
Will, are you getting Destiny 2?
Maybe, definitely not this month because I'm super busy. But
Comes out 40 days from now.
oh, it's not even out yet.
No.
It is on console, but not on PC.
That's why I thought it was out. Alright. Well, that's good.
Oh my god.
I like
That
when
cat.
you do this. It gives a lot of time to just look at reviews and shit.
Take me to the fridge.
Wow. Oh, do I want to do that? I could do that. I could do that. I'm gonna roll luck to see if I do that.
Fucking Canadian, go sleep in your igloo.
I never leave it.
Connor showed me that fucking. I have the power of God and anime on my side.
Oh my fuck, dude! It's
I heard
so
you made a
good.
comment about it.
Who
Said
posted
you
it the other day?
The
I think it was
sloth.
Connor. Oh, was it Slot?
Yeah. Who else?
The scream that gets cut off at the end. It's
Okay. Find that. Let's go ahead and check for straight up gold.
I see the washing machine video.
Wow, okay, well that was a pretty poor roll.
Use your inspiration.
It's the golden fedora.
Your casts guidance on the DM so that he rolls better for luck.
Okay, here we go. Alright. I think we're just waiting on a couple people to get back.
I've returned.
Ooh!
Oh,
And I think Earsfield might be the last one here.
well.
So all the laundry machines in my building are currently out of order, and I have no clean clothes.
That's
Did you
good.
see my laundry machine video I posted?
I did not.
Scroll up and
Man,
check
I
out my
thought about
laundry
linking that one to you. I thought you might find it amusing, but then I didn't, because it was like, I wasn't sure.
I also
Sure,
found a
didn't believe in
video, and I was like, I'm not sure why, but this pleases me. Is this what it feels like to be Jacob?
it. Yeah, no, it's just,
Pumped up kicks, washing machine.
Mm-hmm.
What, does somebody just shoot it with a gun?
Like this.
Oh no.
The September one's good too.
That anime looks like shite.
Yeah, it does. Okay. Well. I have got some loot for you boys.
It is 2 + 1 arrows.
Hey, don't hate on +1 arrows, dude. Those are super useful for parties that don't have magic flying out of their ass all day.
At least I got my chicken.
At least you got chicken.
Oh god, I wish I had.
I'm gonna take. Are these chickens still
Do
flocking
we
around?
now have
I'll tell you
like
when we
30
come back.
chickens?
Because that would be great if Ira could like cook us up like a nice chicken meal
Oh my
after
God.
Hell yeah.
after the fucking Goodberry meals and ration meals we've been having.
I hope we look back and all of them are just going down the chasm really slowly.
Just like one by one walking to the edge and like jumping and flapping their wings and slowly descending into darkness.
One of them looks to you and you hear a voice in your head that's like, "Look to the coming of the dawn. The world sunderer cometh."
I was so afraid they were gonna be like fucking cuckoos from Zelda, and they were just gonna like fucking flock and one shot me.
Yep. They all
Man,
crit you
that's-
for like D4s and you die.
It's like Jay's running through it. It's like, well, he's about to take 20 opportunity attacks from fucking chickens.
Each one of them does a single damage peck. Pierceville, are you back? Damn it, Jash. I want to give you guys
Chicken
this
is
loot.
evolving.
This man has killed the dragon of ages, and he's been brought down by a dozen chickens.
Death by flock of feathers.
Death by 1,000 pecks.
Chicken chaser, I believe. Oh, that reminds me back to the good old days of Vanilla Warcraft. World of Warcraft. Back in Vanilla World of Warcraft, there was a Warlock quest that you had to do in order to summon an Infernal. It's big fucking fiery fell golem thing that comes from the sky. The quest involved you obtaining a variety of items and performing a ritual to summon an Infernal, and then you had to enslave it, essentially. But instead, what actually happens is a fucking giant chicken descends from the sky in a fiery ball of green fire. You have to kill it.
Nice.
Good days.
I never played Vanilla WoW. I played on a private Burning Crusade server. It was fun as shit.
Vanilla WoW was a dark, dark place that everybody has very good memories of.
Like the Underdark.
Exactly.
No. No.
I don't know what you're
No,
talking about. I got
Vanilla WoW's a rose tinted glasses kind of thing. Like, I guarantee that I could go back and I could enjoy it, but holy shit, by like normal gaming standards of today, it's fucking awful. For the fact that it took like a month to 2 months to hit level 60, you had to find parties. There was no system. You just had to use fucking normal general chat or trade chat to find parties to do dungeons. And all the classes were severely imbalanced, so you couldn't play a lot of specs. Fuck, Fire Mage didn't exist until the end of Vanilla, because all of raid content was either resistant or immune to fire damage. So there's no point in playing a Fire Mage. It's actually worthless.
the other one was Frost Mage. Right?
Alright.
Welcome
No, all the
back,
specs
sir.
are there. Arcane was there too. Nobody played Arcane, I don't think.
Are we
Frost
all
Mage
here
Everybody
and
played
ready to go?
Frost.
Ready.
Okay.
Frost was like the only mage spec until Anchorage, where fire became a thing.
What do I find as I empty this bag?
You find some awesome shit, dude.
Yes.
Hell yeah.
Can I roll to pocket it?
25 chicken potions.
Every time I give a magic item to this group, it causes strife.
Someone tears it in half.
Well, I mean,
Trey didn't
to be
give that to
fair,
me.
those are like magical tools, not magical items. Whatever.
You go ahead and grab the bag and go to turn out its contents. As we do so, I'm going to make a roll, because this bag is potentially worth a lot more than you think it is. But I'm going to do that in a sec, because first I'm going to tell you what's guaranteed and what you are most certainly getting.
It's a sack of holding. It's not even a bag of holding, it's a sack of holding.
God, that
From
would
this
be so
cloth
bad.
sack, you see what looks like a small container with a single little glass pane that runs along its top, allowing you to see its contents inside. And you see what looks like 3 arrows of +1, hanging out there.
Okay.
Beyond that, you see what looks like 20 gold pieces, which fall out to the ground as well. And another object made of glass that you're thankful doesn't break, what appears to be some sort of cloudy, grayish mixture in a potion bottle, falls to the ground. And then finally, but most certainly not least, Neil's book falls down.
Oh, God.
Yes.
God.
Now, as you go to shake out the bag to see if you feel something else in there, I'm going to make a roll to see if you find something incredible or but another gold coin.
Oh boy. Oh boy. The Raven dice.
Oh, shit.
Haven't got one of these in a long time.
One
it's not a
more
six,
gold
though.
coin falls out of it.
Damn.
It wasn't meant to be.
Nope.
The arrows are the kind of
Relic-
witch
relic.
that somebody in the group would know what they are, and if you look at them, even on the little case, it seems to give their details. So if you're unfamiliar, arrows of +1 count as magical, they have +1 to hit and +1 to damage. There's
Relics
3
that
of
to
them.
use them as daggers.
The only thing here that's weird, though, is that you also get a potion, but the potion is unlabeled, and you guys don't know what this is.
Alright then.
Here you go, Braxton.
Int checks?
Yeah,
toss
if you
them
guys
the-
want to start trying to figure it out, you certainly can.
What kind of check is for a potion?
Oh yeah, my next profession, alchemy.
Does anybody have proficiency with herbalism or alchemical tools?
No.
Okay. The next thing up would be if you have proficiency with arcana.
That's me,
Does.
baby.
Seeing
comes the
him
only roll.
glare at it, I will cast guidance on him.
Oh, are you kidding me? Tonight is just great. I love it. Wait, why?
Add another 1.
Wonderful. I love it.
So that's 5
Just-
plus.
Wonderful.
Do you get a 10?
Oh, I guess it's an 11.
An 11? Okay. Alright. You do get some details. I'm going to roll luck for you here and see whether or not you know this.
So,
Yeah, the luck rolls are not there tonight. Staring at this, you know what this isn't. You can say for certain that it's not a potion of healing. You can say for sure it's not a potion of invisibility. There's a few things that you're able to eliminate out, but by the end of your examination, you're not entirely sure what it is. If there's one thing that you're absolutely sure about, is that it will alter whoever drinks it for a period of time. You're certain that it's something that has a lasting effect. Not like permanent, but there's a decent duration to it. It's not going to be something where it's like a restoration potion, which is done in a second kind of thing. That's all you know.
sorry,
Ruin
folks.
another dwarf by turning into fucking a mutant thing.
I don't know exactly, but it's a non-permanent effect. Maybe like a strength potion or something that'll last maybe an hour or a few hours. It's gonna boost whoever drinks it for a couple hours, or maybe harm, I suppose. But I would guess on the latter. Or the
I'm gonna keep the
first.
sack, by the way.
Keep the sack. Okay, you can add a plain cloth sack to your backpack.
Disappointing. I was expecting it to be like a sack of holding.
That'd be nice.
Sadness.
Well, maybe someone in the town knows what it is. Nessa, perhaps?
Yeah, there's a good chance.
I'll
I
hand
assume
everybody.
they're still up there and the winter hasn't, fucking blown over over you down here.
It's true.
I will Druidcraft my weather ball.
Druid crafting your weather ball. It seems that the weather up top is rather grim.
Nope, it's definitely still here. There's a nice blizzard out there right now.
As
Hand
you're all
everybody-
staring at these items here, you're interrupted by what sounds like a and you see a chicken just explode out of existence, its feathers flying in every direction as its complete form otherwise disappears. You can see that they all seem to be doing something random. Like, one of them is, it looks like, attempting to fly into the wall repeatedly. Another one is pecking at the ground as though the rocks were edible. A couple of them are floating down the chasm. But one by one, as the seconds go by, with more and more squawks, they explode into feathers and disappear from existence.
Quick, kill them before they explode
Yeah,
for food.
Can I
Just
try
like-
slamming one?
Sure.
Can I put an arrow through the one trying to hit the wall?
Rook, there is a small chicken nearby which goes over, sees a nice pebble that it wants, and as it wanders over towards it, you smash it, kicking it with your foot, and it explodes into feathers.
Oh, no.
Irisfiel, as you attempt to shoot it, you find as well that there's no meat to be had here.
I'm gonna punch all the chickens.
Okay, sure.
Just stress relieving punching.
Yeah, it's like popping bubbles,
Grab
but
a chicken,
100 times
jump off the
better.
cliff, use it as a glider.
Chicken bubble wrap.
I'm gonna go get my arrow.
I just start like sacred flame. No, never mind. That's not Jay. I wouldn't.
Die, all the chickens.
Jay is just walking around passing out 5 gold to each person,
Oh, we're almost there.
keeping
I
the
would
one,
grab a chicken.
keeping the one solitary remaining gold for myself.
You'll be
Who
Who
rich in
has
no
the
time.
platinum coin?
I just put it in the party loot that's on the side to distribute
Okay.
later. So
It doesn't matter. Just keep in the party loot.
yeah, let's go back upstairs. I'm really done.
Does
with
anybody
this
want
place.
these arrows?
I raised my hand.
Had do the arrows.
Turn it into a dagger. See if it keeps the benefit.
Jay, I know you told me to
That's
guard it
well
with your
rounded.
life, and I tried, but he might have got the book. Was that in there?
I hand him the book. I thought I tossed you the book already.
Oh
I would
my
have given
God.
you the book first.
Thank God.
No sweat. He was a sneaky one. And speaking of that, as I hand him the book, I want to look at my inventory.
Your inventory
Oh,
appears to be intact.
Thank God.
Yeah, it's a good point actually.
Do we all do that, I assume?
It
I'm gonna
seems,
assume the thing didn't sneak into my damn crate while I wasn't noticing.
Braxton must have caught it early in the act, because as you guys check your items, sure enough, everything is there.
Woo! It just puts its sack in the crate, runs off with the crate.
It was just hiding in your crate the whole time.
My God.
Well, that was interesting. What the hell was that thing?
I don't know, but I want to kill it.
It was rather ugly.
Pretty sure it's dead.
Speaking of, I'm gonna go over and make sure it doesn't have like anything in some pockets or something.
The creature is naked and carries
Okay,
nothing
then
in
never
terms
mind.
of satchels or anything like that.
I hand
Did I
Rook
see that
the
portal it was
potion.
opening?
Oh. The portal is gone and seems to have closed, leaving behind no trace of any magic, no sigils, no burn marks, nothing.
Did
Remarkably
I
clean.
ever see it, though?
You did see it for a brief moment, and I'll let you roll Arcana to try and gather some info from it from the brief glances that you got.
Oh, I'd love to. Oh, yeah, 26.
Interesting.
At 20.
You know a little bit
Hey.
about portals. You know that they can be created in a number of ways, and that they don't always follow this rule, but sometimes portals will betray the location of their endpoint based off of details from the portal themselves. Sometimes, or rather most commonly, it's the color that's seen within it. From that particular shade, by some stray bit of knowledge that you have floating about in your brain, you actually know where the creature is going.
Oh.
And you know that it was headed to the plane of fire.
Rip.
Oh my God, Tuesday group.
Well, it's a
There's
good
just like
thing.
a pile of magical items sitting somewhere in the fireplace.
Good thing you didn't
God.
fall in there, Jay. That portal would have taken you somewhere pretty hot.
Gonna be the
I,
leper of the century. It's just like a half dead, like a half of a goblin there next to a bag of loot.
I thought about going after him, so I'm glad I
Oh,
didn't.
I thought about it too.
Yep.
Jay just loses an
Out of
arm.
character. Out of character. Apparently, the plane of fire is how me and Ivan get home. So yeah, that was my quest right there. If I'd gone through there, I might be able to find Ivan.
Yeah, that's the theory he's running with.
Yep.
never,
Unless they
never,
both escape back to the real world.
never heard of a weird creature like that, but just one for the notes for sure.
To all of
Speaking
you,
of
this
notes-
creature is strange and odd, and there's no resemblance to anything that you've seen or heard about. Although it did seem rather goblinish, though clearly demonically possessed.
Speaking of notes, Braxton, if you and Ira wouldn't mind at some point getting together and sketching some sort of diagram or picture of the ritual that we saw, so that I can
Oh.
have a copy of it.
I think I was making notes as we were in there, actually.
So I can recreate it sometime, said Jay.
So I could tell the head priest about it.
Oh my
I'll
God.
kind of like poke, like, do you have something? Do you have a drawing in there? If you don't, I might be able to.
Who you poking?
Create it.
I also, I don't know if I said this already, but I hand the potion to Rook.
Take it.
Okay. You drink it?
No.
Oh, okay.
In my backpack.
Just checking, you know. Maybe
Actually,
you were
no,
like,
let's
alright, I'll
go.
down it. That was a good chase, you know, I'm thirsty.
Man, give me that Gatorade.
All
I like how
right.
Plannerhead's like posting things in general chat, but he's not even on this Discord.
It never stops, dude.
Man, plan
Um,
post some weird stuff.
yeah. Braxton, do you have a picture, or no?
I did kind of say I want to take a note, but it never like went through. So I can
A
make them
picture
now,
of
or...
The ritual.
The ritual that you had seen? Okay.
Yeah.
I'll let you roll intelligence in order to recreate what you had seen there. And if you can get a 15 or above, you can recreate it on paper pretty
Guidance.
close.
Oh, you
Got
got
it,
it,
baby.
Doesn't even
Got
need
it.
it.
Oh, that's above a 20, I
20.
take it.
Yeah, 23.
25.
23.
Or
Okay.
oh,
If
23
it's straight
intelligence.
intelligence, it's 23.
Yeah, it's straight in. So, if you want to take some time here to sketch down, I will allow you to create a very accurate copy of the ritual that you found.
Yeah, if you folks want to hang tight, I
Get a short rest?
remember it pretty well.
I do believe we don't
Please.
want to do it here, and then I motion to the fucking fissure.
Yeah, let's.
Now, a thing to
Jesus.
mention, you want this to be fresh in your mind, Braxton. So you guys could shuffle off, but that will be
If we go down
check.
like 50 feet, wait, if I go down 50 feet, is that too far?
What do you mean?
Like,
No, like head down the hallway where we're in a safer position.
Oh,
Walk,
you could
like,
do that.
5
Yeah, yeah.
minutes.
okay, yeah, we can go down a little bit, but I kind of want to sketch it now before I forget anything.
Okay. So here at the entranceway, you guys all go to get a short rest, and I'm gonna roll some luck for you folks.
Everything collapses.
Right.
During your short rest, everybody can roll a heal if they so choose. But you hear the sound of the fissure spreading once again. It's only a single crack that you hear off in the distance, and then it stops. There's a couple of little pebbles that seem to fall and tumble as well. You all finish your short rest, and you can add this drawing to your inventory, Braxton.
Cool.
The fissure at the other side of the cave,
Yes.
or okay. Say, Yuri,
Alright.
maybe we'd better inspect the city, make sure it's not gonna collapse or anything, or we go upstairs and say, hey, we cleared almost everything out. I know you're the good one at that, so
Hey, well, even if I were to inspect the city and find a crack, or even if I were to not, that crack's awful close. I don't know if it's safe. They'll have to decide that up there, whether the crack's in here or not. I mean, I
okay.
can go look it over if that's what you want.
It'd probably be good, right?
Alright, I'll go give it a look-see. I'm gonna go give the fucking Dwarven Rubens a good look over.
Okay.
I'll come with him and cast guidance.
Go ahead and make that stone cunning check.
A good look-see at disadvantage. With
At
guidance.
yeah, with the 1d4. Oh dang.
The 1. 16, 17?
Okay. Looking at it, you find that the evidence seems to point to a false alarm. The shake that you heard and the pebbles that have fallen were probably loose to begin with. You don't feel like this would fall apart. And it actually looks like some very, very sturdy building that has been done here. Like most dwarven cities, which are underground for the majority of their days, you think that this will continue to stand the test of time.
Hey, it looks fine to me.
Alright.
Ancestors really did a good one on this one.
Good
Are
then.
they really your ancestors if you're from
Yeah,
somewhere?
I claim all dwarves as my ancestors, man. Get off. Fuck out.
That's fair, that's fair.
It has probably been here a while. It'd be
Look, man,
unlucky
I'm
for
just
it
trying to cope with the fact that I have, like, no family aside from my brother who's off somewhere in this world. Gotta have some sense of unity.
Let the man have his delusions, he asked.
Like to fuck with you.
Uh-huh, says the priest.
Well, let's head up then.
This whole god thing, I bet it's just a bunch of fuckery.
Let's,
I wouldn't mind for a couple restful nights up there. Well, they might not be, but
Okay.
knock on wood.
Who knows
Jake
how
gets
long
an
we've been
additional
gone
kill.
for?
That is
2
Yeah.
years.
interesting to find out. Yeah.
So begins the long trek up.
Do I hear any orcs from here?
as we pass by.
You do not. Is silent, perhaps eerily so, from down that tunnel where you had first found the strange orb. You
Oh
guys
yeah,
want to
that
go
thing.
down there, or are you walking past?
Do we
I'm
want
walking
to check it
past.
out real fast? Or no?
Nah.
Nah,
Ah,
Okay.
let's head back.
You wander further up the way and start to traverse through the stairwell, which takes multiple hours, until eventually you get out to the other side here. And as you do, I'd like everybody to please go ahead and roll perception.
Everyone's dead.
oh, a nice 3, baby.
My rolls have been fantastic tonight. That's
I've been all over the place.
22.
12.
9.
Those with a 10 or higher can tell that things are different immediately from the point that you emerge from the staircase. Your surroundings have changed, though at first glance it's not really sure how. It's more of a gut feeling than anything. And Rook, you're kind of the one that notices it. Things have sort of thinned out here. The locations that people are placed throughout seem to have changed a bit, and they've become less of a bunch of erratic camps, and seem to have filed out and more or less like moved to make this place look like a proper cave city. You also notice something else. As you look over, you don't see the table there with Olaf and all of his guards.
Oh. To the party. Guys, the guards aren't here.
While you're
So does it look
standing
like a
here
cave
by the
now?
stairwell, you see something else. There's some people wandering around, and a couple of them walk past your group. One of them kind of like gives you like a nod. It looks like just an average commoner, and then begins to go down the long stairwell.
That we just came up from?
Yes.
What?
Can I like
What?
look at him and go, sir?
Okay, he pauses for a second,
Ah.
turns around. You can see he has slung over his back what looks like a brown sack and, perhaps... Oh, it's a shovel. He says, yeah, what's going on?
Where you going?
It's dangerous down there.
Lower City? What are you talking about? Brick says it's
Talking
fine.
Aod bar?
Yep.
What day is
What
it?
the fuck?
He turns to you and pauses for a second, Earsville, giving you a strange look, and then he goes, 8th of summer.
Where are the guards? You know, big Olaf guy, looks super strong, good looking pecs, has big arms.
Rook, relax.
Make a
skipped
persuasion
all the way
roll,
up.
please, Rook.
To convince this man how good looking he is.
11.
11, okay. It's like, oh yeah, real beefy guy, right?
Yeah, with the big arms and the nice calves.
He's down below, guarding he's guarding the other stairwell, I think. Wouldn't want any monsters coming up from her. Anyway, sir, I gotta get to work. You mind if I, just slip on down?
Please.
See you later.
I mean the lowest.
Fuck you,
We were
just
just
like
there.
you walk down.
Did
now?
we go through like a time thing while we were awake?
Oh,
Yes.
this happened. This happened before once.
It happened
Oh god.
Yeah.
What in the
The
world?
confusion spreads.
Just fucking go into a city,
I-
nobody's there. Exit the city, turn around, everybody's fucking there.
I mean, I
Is,
get it, but you know, in game.
I just turn and follow the group of people.
Wait, hold on.
You're going back down?
Yes! That's a long step, though.
Oh, we
I
just
should say
walked
too,
out.
like,
We're pretty tired.
You
Let's
just spent like 4 hours going straight up steps, so I think even if you
Jeez,
wanted to go
no,
down, you'd
Jay.
probably need to sit for like 30 minutes.
Son of
My
a
character's
bitch.
still exhausted.
clean.
let's sleep. I want to sleep.
All right.
I wanna sleep in a yeah.
I'm gonna go to where we saw Nessa here.
Ah, okay.
I'm gonna go with him.
Does everyone want to go
I'm
and
gonna go
see
with the
Nessa
regular
first?
story.
Yeah, I want to
I
see
wanna go to
this.
the normal city.
Normal city for you. Okay, I'm gonna
Normal
roll
city.
some luck for Nessa, and then we'll do Yuri's little bit here. Oh my god, Jesus Christ!
Nope. Nope. Nope.
Nessa's dead, guys.
Yeah. No, it's
I'm
on that
sleeping.
one. You guys go to see if you can get an audience with Nessa, and while traveling over there, sure enough, you realize the city is different. It's thinned out a little bit. People look like they have more space, and they actually seem to be living in some degree of comfort, to a degree. Things are starting to turn into like a nice little town here. Though you do note that the common folks still seem to be rather skinny, and there's a malnourished but higher spirit that seems to be found with all of them. When you get over there, the Dragon Guard turn you away, saying that while Nessa is there, she is too busy to speak with you.
If you could just give her word that we're around and would like to speak with her when she's free.
Okay? He gives you but a nod, and then I'd like to cut to Yuri, who has gone into the Dwarven City. As you step into this city here, Yuri, you note that things have changed a good deal here as well, and everything is pristine, it's quite clean, and there is an amount of furniture and upholstery that has gone into the place, and it kind of looks like a proper Dwarven hall. Some of the items are, of course, human, but the majority of the layout and everything has been done rather well, and it looks quite good. There's ample light all throughout the area. You can see that past some of the columns, there are what appear to be shops where people are selling items and things like that. And way towards the back at the throne room, with a decent lineup around him, Rick seems to be talking to different people. What do you want to do?
If Rick ever looks this way, I just want to wave in motion that we're back.
Sure, let's see if he notices you. Okay, for a brief moment, he looks over, and you guys meet eyes. As you wave, he kind of just gives you a brief nod, and then immediately jumps back into whatever conversation currently grasps him.
Okay, alright. I want to go sleep. I want to go long rest. Find a place.
Okay. As you look around, you try to find a good place for a long rest, but you find that the hallways are guarded by the city guard, and they don't actually allow you through, telling you no civilians can go. And when you try to make some pull by saying that you're from Ghostwatch, that manages to open it up, and you're eventually able to get to what seems to be the new barracks. The
Hey,
beds
nice.
are actually comfortable. No longer must you
My
sleep
God.
on stone and bedroll. A proper mattress awaits you here in a room which has a bunch of other guardsmen taking naps as well, but it's something. You go ahead and start your long rest.
Yes. Very good.
The other four, what are you guys up to?
Can I have follow that and also just sleep?
Okay, sure, sounds good. You are asleep as well. The other three.
I'll go get a bed, but before I do, I'll check to make sure that scroll is still safe and sound and I can still unlock that weird box.
Ah,
And then
okay.
maybe I'll do some light reading of Sparky's book before nodding off.
Okay, sounds good. The scroll case is inert, and you're able to kind of open it up and briefly take a look at this incredibly powerful item and seal it back away. You go to sit down to read, but you're actually too exhausted to do so. You have all the intent to read. You get to the first
Zonk
stage,
out.
and then just black out.
Time to get some reading.
Yeah. With all the events of the last while, the moment that you kind of lay down in this mattress here, you're gone. Everybody else, assuming that you would eventually check out the city, finds their way to the barracks and gets a long rest. Go and refresh your stuff.
Yes, finally. A mattress. After a month of fucking just sitting in a cave. Actually, my character probably wouldn't care about that at all.
Yep.
You probably
There are
prefer
no
rock.
good berries. By the way, I used all my spell slots. And Illusion, as we were wandering through the city, was there anything like a marketplace?
Ah. As I kind of mentioned to Yuri, it does seem like there's shops that can be found inside of the city hall itself, like kind of near the pillars here at the front when you come in. And then it seems to turn into a bunch of officials and everything else near the back end by the throne. You did see some other stuff, though. Go ahead and roll perception for me.
Alright. Perception, it is... I'm gonna head there in the morning anyway, but that's a 19.
Okay. There seems to be one place which looked rather popular and had quite a few people at it, which was not within the actual city. Some sort of tavern or bar-like establishment built into one of the caves outside along the chasm. You guys
my
had
God.
passed it for a moment to hear the sound of glasses clinking and people drinking. You have
Garrett
no
has a
idea how
tavern.
they managed to get alcohol, but it seems things are starting
Alcohol
to
finds
get
a
back
way.
to normal. Yeah.
It's
Alcohol
Garrett's
is-
tavern. Garrett has a tavern again.
Then,
Yes.
after my 4 hours of trance, I will go and just kind of explore, see if I can find anybody selling in particular food.
Ah, okay. Trying to find food.
Yep. Ingredients, more like,
Yeah.
but yes, food. It's gonna be
Okay.
hard, but fingers crossed.
You find food, and
Alright.
getting up incredibly early, or so you would imagine, and wandering about, you go into the market area where most of the stalls seem to be empty, but a couple of people are setting up, and one of them does appear to be a food vendor. The majority of what's on display are different type of fungus, which seem to go for pretty cheap. However, you see it there, slabs of real meat. How in the world he got a hold of them, you don't know, and as you might imagine, the prices are high, but this person is selling real meat.
How high? What
Red
do we talk
meat.
about here?
Okay.
Human meat.
Fair enough.
There is a large slab of beef, enough that would allow you to create maybe like a steak for everybody today. And that whole thing seems to go for 5 gold.
Done. You can buy that crap.
Alright?
That is worth it for a celebration of getting out of that place alive.
Okay. He doesn't
Um,
seem surprised at all as you quickly fork over the cash and he hands it over towards you. It seems like it's pretty fresh too. You can tell it's been salted to preserve it. You now have enough meat to make a very tasty meal, especially compared to all the good berries.
Yeah. Do I? The mushrooms that he's selling, are there types I don't recognize?
Most of it is stuff you've seen, yeah. And the other ones seem to be pretty similar as well, like variants, kind of. They go for a pretty low price. Most of them range from a few copper pieces to, like a silver piece for a large chunk, that kind of thing.
Okay. I'll just I'm gonna pick out some that I haven't tried cooking yet,
Sure.
and get like, I don't know, 3 silver worth of mushrooms.
Okay, I think that sounds fair. You get like a small sample amount of all the ones that are new to you.
Yep. And then I'll go see if I can find like some sort of kitchen somewhere. Be that near the guardhouse, where I'm sure they have something. That'll be the first place I look.
Okay.
Not
There is
sure where
indeed
else.
a mess hall that has been made out of one of the dwarven rooms here in the city, and as a member of Ghostwatch, you're permitted to it and are able to cook in there.
Okay. Then I will wait until people are starting to wake up, meaning my party, and then I will cook us up a celebration steak breakfast
Okay.
with expensive spices and the best I can do, kind of.
All right. By now, a pretty accomplished cook, you put together a very good meal. There is mushroom in here, given that it is what's available, but some new and interesting ones. And perhaps most importantly, meat and spice. Who even knows what that tastes like anymore? Eventually, you guys wake up, and in the mess hall, you see Irisveal cooking food, and it smells amazing. You're kind of drawn to it by the smell that floats around in the hallway.
Is that not mushroom and goodberry soup?
That is wonderful, delicious beef.
Where the hell did you get beef?
You can ask the guy I bought it from.
I certainly
in the
will after
market
I
this morning.
eat some.
Yes, it'll be another few minutes. Have a seat.
So everybody is gathering
brainstorm.
here in the main room, I assume?
Yeah.
I want my character to start brainstorming an idea to make a cart that goes downstairs. Like a thing to go down the stairs in doesn't require me to walk it.
Okay. Yeah, you puzzle with the idea of, like, could you make wheels square? Would that... and
Like clover-like wheels.
yeah, try and
in
see what could be
long
done, and start to puzzle on that.
Yes.
You guys are all at a table together, waiting while about 10 feet away, Irisveal finishes cooking in the mess hall. Otherwise, it's empty since it's fairly early, it seems, or perhaps you guys are just off the normal schedule.
Hey,
Being
What
underground.
even is a schedule underground?
Exactly.
hey Jay.
What's up?
I guess like, is there a presence between us? Like, is there awkward presence between us? Not like this isn't in character. This is like player to player. Is there an awkward tension? I guess.
Because of the book?
Yeah.
Nah.
Ah?
Book is ancient history, man. That was like a whole day ago.
Oh man, that was like a month ago. What are you talking about?
All right. So at the dinner table, like Rook is like twiddling his fingers, and like eventually, like 5 minutes pass. Hey, Jay, can I pull you aside for a sec?
Don't do it.
Sure, Rook, what's up, man?
And like
He's offering himself to you to make it up. Yeah.
Just gotta tell
What?
him about the necromancy.
walk like, oh fuck, I forgot about that.
Oh,
But now he remembers.
totally thought that's what you were
Thank
saying.
you.
I should. Oh, I have.
Whoopsie daisy.
Okay.
No, that's metagaming. No,
That's
mean,
metagaming.
Rook
You
might
can't say it now.
Rook would remember it.
What?
I'd imagine.
Well, yeah, no, that was a week ago for us, but only a day ago for him.
Yeah.
Like,
He was literally dropped the necromancy bomb a day ago.
shut
Yesterday.
your fucking mouth, Will, you dumb piece of shit.
And you
We're like-
wanted to save the book that sold you out.
we're like feet away. We're like a good distance away from the table, right? Can they hear us?
Yeah, if you guys want to get far enough that you don't have to worry about it, then absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
It was
You
weird.
step
like
into
one
like
of
the
them
empty
too.
hall for a second if need be.
I like.
Where are you guys going? Wink, wink.
I look at you and say, "Shut up."
Okay.
The meat Irisfield cooked wasn't enough meat for you, huh?
How many
It's
meat-
not
Oh,
done yet.
It's wrong. I see what you're doing there. Oh, come on now.
It's funny because he's trying to allude to the meat as though it's penis.
Oh.
Oh.
Wait, what is he referring to?
I'll explain it when you're a little bit older, Rook.
So you guys are
What,
in the
you
hall
want-
here and are away from them so they can't hear. What do you guys chat about?
Jay, I feel really bad. I'm so sorry. Sorry that what I caused.
Rook, I gave you the advice that led you to that altar room, and I felt the book's presence too. I hold you completely free of any responsibility in this. I hope you don't hold yourself responsible. It was powerful magic in that book, and well, now I have new things to ponder, but I don't regret giving you that advice. I don't regret seeing that ritual or touching the book. It was a shock, yes, and I will admit it's been a difficult day or so dealing with what I saw and what I witnessed, but if I hadn't seen it, I'd have even less information than I have now. And as I said, it just wasn't your fault.
Yeah, it was mine.
I was going into this conversation thinking that you were gonna hate me. I thought that we weren't gonna be friends anymore. But any problem that we face, we can face together. We'll beat it. And it's a giant weight lift off my back. Like Rook intensifies. It's glad to hear that we're still good friends. I was about to tell you something with necromancy and will. I guess you don't need it anymore. And I'll
Who's
open up the
Will?
door. Oh fuck! And Braxton.
Wait. Hold on a second.
Back it up for a fucking second.
I put my hand
Slow
around his
the
back and
phone.
turn us and start walking further away from everyone. What's this about necromancy there?
I didn't think you really need it anymore, but we're cool and stuff. But I was gonna say, yeah, book told me that Will has some super that scroll that we got is super necromancy.
As well.
Super
Fuck,
necromancy.
You're gonna have to be more precise here, Rook. I don't know who this Will is.
Braxton. The book was a whole bunch of fuckery.
Is Will his middle name or something?
I think so. He's he's a rich looking guy. It looks like he has
does
four
look like
names.
a Will. He does look like a Will. I will admit that. Get it? I will admit that.
Yeah, a good one.
Thanks.
Anyways, yeah, the book told me Braxton has super necromancy scroll.
Huh.
Hey man, this is on our side, right? Did he not tell you that? I thought.
It's getting
Ooh.
awkward real fast.
let's go have some breakfast.
Yeah.
I'm just deadpan now. I was sort of jovial, sort of excited for this meal, and now I'm just stone face. Let's go back in.
Okay.
I'm glad
Morning,
to see that you're
boys.
doing. Is something wrong, Jay? Did something get in your teeth or something?
No, I just it's all good, man. It's all good.
Oh, morning, lads. You boys look a lot better than yesterday. You're looking like zombies last night.
I just stare at Braxton. Just
Well, here's making some nice food. Take a seat.
I sit down directly across the table from Braxton. I lean forward on my elbows, placing my chin on my hands, and I just stare at Braxton.
Hey, don't look too close. Rook might get jealous there, Jay. What's up?
I sit next down to Ira and just lean in oh yeesh.
Still got everything from the Underdark, Braxton?
I lost a little bit of sanity maybe, but everything else.
Still got everything we found down there?
You mean the scroll that we're not supposed to talk about because it's worth a lot of money?
Well, that's why I wasn't bringing it up.
Oh, yes, certainly do.
If you don't mind, I'd like to see it later.
Sure.
Just to make sure it's still safe and all.
Yep, I check on it every night. It's still safe.
I'm just gonna continue sitting there staring at him. That's all I have to say, though.
I don't have any plans of using it anytime soon, so.
Oh no, you're not gonna use it? Why wouldn't you use it?
Because I don't know what it does, and that would be unwise.
Don't you? Slams it.
You sure? You don't know anything about it, Braxton.
I know many things about it. I don't know the exact use.
Rook,
It's like that potion. I knew a lot of general things.
you are
Didn't
at
know
this
exactly
table
what it does.
and privy to this conversation. Are you like the fucking Key and Peele skit right now with like the sweat going down your face?
That's a great skit.
How are you taking this? How's Rook feeling right now as they talk about this? And Jay's just fucking staring at him.
And like, I hope Braxton doesn't see me, but I'm like, so the setup is like, it's Braxton and Jay sitting across from each other.
Here, let's go ahead and draw the table. You guys put yourselves however you want.
If the food is there, I am nonchalantly
is
just
not
talking
there
while I look at the food. If the food's not there, I'm probably looking at the food being prepared.
So Iris feels like over here, and you guys would be seated at the table however you want over here.
Get over here, Braxton. You're gonna look at this.
I'm gonna move you for a second. I want it to be like this. Sitting next to Braxton, and like lean back in my chair so Braxton doesn't see, making eye contact with Jay, like put it off, like slashing my neck, like. Oh!
Yuri, what do you do during this? By the way, you're muted. Oh, Yuri's just muted. Who knows what's going on over there?
Skill.
Okay. So, Rook
Oh,
tries...
what the fuck? When did I mute on fucking Discord? What the hell?
It's a great question. What are you doing
I don't
here,
read on
Yuri?
Discord.
An awkward conversation's taking place. Rook is leaning back, giving the cut it out motion.
My brows are furrowed, and I am looking between the two and getting progressively more angry. Kind of. I don't fucking know. This is like one of those build-up moments to where I want to rip a book in half again.
Not my book.
Rip the scroll in half.
Yeah, you want to rip a
Jesus.
scroll in half, Yuri?
Jesus.
Furrowing intensifies.
Man, I can't wait for that food.
You got some in your throat, Rook?
Hey, Ear, how's it going over there?
It's almost done, Rook. Be patient.
Oh man,
So
Go ahead and make
talking,
a-
So now I would look at him. How's he looking?
Make a wisdom roll, please, Irisfeel.
Just straight wisdom?
Just straight wisdom, yeah.
Alright.
maybe you could,
Sauteed mushrooms.
hurry it up a little bit.
Straight wisdom, that's an 11.
Okay. So you're finishing up the last little bit here, and that wisdom rolls for a couple of things. What you gather is that, you're almost done. You can hurry it up and have everything good to go here in a moment if you want. You can tell there's something awkward about what's going on over at the table over there. Also, over at the table, what were you saying?
I was saying, well, Rook talked now, and I wasn't paying mind to him, but since he talked, I would probably turn to him.
Okay.
I'm wondering how he's looking.
I'm like one hand on the table, like leaning, not like trying to be nonchalant. Like, yeah, Eero, we should hurry it up on that. Ooh.
Yeah, you go to the bathroom?
No, I'm fine. Just a little jumpy, from yesterday.
Hey, you look a little weird. What? Jumpy isn't a good word. I don't think you're jumpy. I think there's something wrong.
I'm not hurrying up, by the way. This needs to be perfect.
Okay.
The perfect steak. 10
Alright.
out of 10.
Like
Medium rare.
This is the
This is
last
practice.
meat we're gonna have in a long time. I'm using my special expensive rare spices. Like this
Mm.
is. I'm
Sounds
not hurting
delicious.
this.
I can't
Man,
wait.
I just can't wait for that meat in my
I just
stomach.
love the taste of meat. Mm.
Oh. I'll give you some. What the fuck is happening here? And I look at Jay.
It's Braxton.
I'm being ignored now?
It's, and then Jay puts the gun on the table.
Rolls the
Jay.
revolver barrel.
There's only one bullet in here.
Nothing you want to tell us.
About what?
I know what
Anything
you're
eating
thinking.
at you? Anything you want to get off your chest?
Did I fire 5 shots down there in the Underdark, or was it 6?
Can I make like a check about? He talked about the scroll. Now he's talking about.
I'm
Ah.
trying to not be subtle here.
Make an insight check for me, please.
Hey Yuri, I think we
Braxton
should
has-
work on. I think
Braxton
Yuri needs some
has,
help
like,
Uh,
in the
no
kitchen.
wisdom.
You know,
Yuri,
Maybe
Yuri,
I- Look, I ain't gonna help her cook. I'm all for the cooking. I'm
That's
only for the
just-
building shit.
that's just an 8, so probably just
Okay.
chilling.
What are you thinking right now, Jay?
How the fuck is this guy not telling us? I'm giving him every opportunity to come forward and share with the party
Okay.
before things get bad.
So,
are you asking about the scroll?
I'm not specifically asking. I'm just asking if there's anything you want to share.
He's
anything-
asking about the goddamn scroll. He wants to know something about it, and you know something about it. I don't know what you know, but I want to know too. I'm really getting angry right now.
I mean, there was one thing I left out because we had just become friends. I didn't want to freak you out, but I don't
Uh-huh.
think it should really affect anything. You can hold on to it if you don't trust me.
Uh-huh.
What's that one thing that you were,
Well,
Okay.
you remember the first time we met, Jay, and you asked to see my book?
Mhm.
And you're like a pious man, but when you saw my book, ever since then, it seemed like you kind of were scared. Not scared, but, judgmental of me.
cautious.
And it's because of, what is in the book. I'm not dumb. I knew that was why. And I trusted you enough, not jump to conclusions, but you judged me because of what was in the book. And we had just gotten over that, I felt. And then this scroll came along, and I didn't want to tell you it was necromancy because I didn't want you to not like me again. So I thought I would hold off until, trust was a little more secure. If that's so wrong, then
I just rolled a nat 1 for luck. Rook, your chair suddenly breaks under your weight. Right as Braxton finishes the sentence, just
tension breaker.
could it have been like, oh man, Jay, what a beautiful.
yeah, sure.
What a beautiful sentiment.
I
Hey,
think
now the orcs breaking chairs.
I think at
Everything's
that-
going to shit this morning.
at that Jay actually just starts cracking up like I did in real life. Jay just loses his shit, and he leans
just-
back and he's like, Braxton, man, just tell me about shit in the future so I don't have to find out from books.
I want to fix the chair.
I
And
can do that if you, quit those
Hey, no,
judgmental
fuck, get
eyes.
out of the way. I'm fixing the chair. The chair's made out of wood or stone. I don't really care. I'm fixing it either way.
If I'll put what did she say?
Put aside those judgmental eyes.
Yeah, I'll be better about it, or try to at least. It's tough being told something's evil your whole life, and then you see somebody use it for good. Like imagine if all of a sudden I pulled back my helmet here, and you guys saw that I was a high elf or something.
Hey,
Imagine
what's
what
wrong with
shock
being a
that
high
would be.
elf?
Oh, wouldn't that be
What's
a
wrong
shocker?
with being a high elf again? I don't recall.
High elves here are like the drow of your world.
They're kind of
I
like
wouldn't-
assholes.
I wouldn't wish that on someone,
Drow are not assholes. They're just fucking evil.
Yeah, the High Elves like took over the entire world, and then somehow we got lucky and they slipped up, and the rest of the races got free. They think they're better than everyone else, and they, occasionally will try and just like take over the world.
Kind of like
they're
kind of like Brad and
normal high
Orcs.
elves. Like normal high elves. Arrogant sons of bitches, but nothing really substantially wrong with them.
Well, they have taken over the world.
Hey, taking over the world doesn't mean you're evil.
They enslaved every other race.
Hey, well, that's a little evil, but that's probably our fault, not theirs.
Okay, buddy.
While we're on the subject of this horrible evil,
Hey, stop
potentially.
being so meek. Brooke, get out of the fucking way. I want to fix the chair, damn it.
So,
That was quite the spill you took there, buddy.
oh, are we good then? I'm like standing at the head of the table, holding 2 plates with steak on them.
Whoa!
Like,
Hey, there's
Snuck up
only-
on me.
I take
you
one
mean
and
there's
slide it
only
across the
2
table to
plates?
Braxton.
Hey,
What do you mean
cheers.
there's only 2 plates, you sons of bitches?
And then I'll give the other one to Jay, and then turn around and grab the other 2.
I passed the other plate to Yuri because he's been complaining.
Okay.
Oh, I'm fixing the damn chair while eating. I'm gonna do both at the same time.
All right.
Everyone gets a steak.
The meal is quite good, and all of the mushroom in here is really a side note to the fact that there's real meat present in this meal. Something you have not all had for some time.
Meat. Oh, Ira, this is delicious.
Yes.
Imagine if we got to eat like this all the time. We'd all be like Rook over there, falling over in our chairs, breaking our chairs.
Hey, are
Well-
you calling Rook fat?
I mean, it's
He could use
muscular.
a pound or two.
With like a mouthful of food, like I was told to party with necromancy, and I like keep shoving in my mouth.
Hey, he looks pretty fat, actually, now that I look at him again.
You'll make a great undead warrior one day, Rook.
Hey, what the fuck kind of joke is that?
I mean,
Starts choking on the meat.
Necromancy evil.
I'm just laughing as I stuff my face.
Jay's probably laughing with you.
I look at Jay like, hello, Bella.
Oh fuck, you're right. I like scarf down my food and then I like run from the table.
Jay!
Oh, that is not what I meant.
I go looking for the priest.
Okay.
God,
Have I fixed this chair yet?
The priests can be found here doing their sermons very close towards the throne area, and it appears that the high priest is there. Whatever sermon was taking place seems to have ended as you come around the corner. Perhaps an early morning prayer, just kind of wrapping up. And you're able to make your way over. He turns to you and he says, "Oh, Jay, it's been some time. It's good to see your face again."
Yes, it's been a while.
How have your travels been?
Troublesome. But
Oh,
everybody came out of it okay in the end, I guess. Can I talk to you privately for a minute or two here?
he looks around and then kind of puts his hand around your shoulder and sort of takes you towards a wall where there isn't really anybody there. And, amidst the columns, you can see people going about their business, but you guys are kind of stepped aside here. He turns to you and he says, "What is it, Jay?"
Have you ever heard of an artifact of old ancient magic known as a shard of madness?
Ah. I have a roll to make for the priest.
come on, priest!
Wow, he rolled a nat 1.
Wow.
Oh yes, it's a very good item. All the priests use it.
You guys didn't break it, did you? Oh my! So anyway, he turns for a second off towards the distance and thinks for a second. He turns back to you and he says, I can't say that I have, Jay. Why do you ask? Do you encounter something like that?
I did. I have
It
another
certainly
question.
sounds
for you.
grim.
As long as you didn't rip it in half, you're good.
Are you still experiencing difficulty getting in touch with Bella, or has that since subsided?
My powers persist, make our prayers, but truth, I haven't heard her voice in some time.
Okay, I'm about to tell you something that is extremely troubling and potentially damning on myself, so please forgive me for what I'm about to say.
Jay, I've known you for much time, and I feel as though I've known you maybe not my whole life, but I consider us quite close. If you have something you need to speak of, please.
We encountered, while we were in the depths of the Underdark, a horrific ritual involving sacrifice and blood magics, and the result of these magics, I believe, was the summoning of a Shard of Madness, the item that I described to you before. I must have read somewhere in my studies about them, because I recognized the ritual, though I didn't know what the item did. But with a name like Shard of Madness, I figured it could only be evil and needed to be destroyed.
He's
And
nodding along.
As such, I called for the group to return the item so that we could destroy it. And it asked Rook, spoke to him, and asked him to let me touch it. And as I placed my hand on its cover, it gave me a vision. I saw myself not in my own skin, but in the golden armor of Bella's chosen soldiers, her angels, and I saw myself standing on the front lines of a war between angels and demons and devils. And as I watched a massive creature, dragon-like, but one that dwarfed mountains in comparison, lie in, and Bella flew up to meet it, and as I watched the two of them clash in combat, I was stabbed by one of the demons, and I experienced the pain of death, but I also was snapped out of my vision and returned. I don't know if these are true or whether this is just some vision brought on by this artifact, but it could explain why Bella has been hard to reach lately.
The priest looks puzzled and says to you, Jay, what became of this item?
It was destroyed.
How exactly?
There was conflict amongst our group about what to do with the item. There were those of us inclined to destroy it and those of us inclined to keep it, and in the turmoil that ensued as I laid weeping from my vision, one of our party members stepped up and ripped the book in half. It dissolved into feathers that floated to the ground.
Jay, I am not familiar with this item, but if I had to guess, it sounds like whatever this vision was likely an illusion. I wouldn't place too much stock in it.
I do like a huge sigh of relief at that.
Okay. He puts a hand on your shoulder as you do, and he says, from the sounds of the item, whatever these visions were, it was likely something to drive you to the precipice of madness and push you over its edge. Can't imagine it being more than just something meant to, well, really strike at your emotions. It's probably why you, well, have carried it with you up until here.
I can't. I must admit, I had that idea in my head that this is what was happening, but till I heard you say it, it was almost like a wishful dream, or I was grasping at something that wasn't quite there. I do have one of our. I don't have it. I should have brought it in my haste. I forgot. One of our party drew a diagram of the ritual. If you wanted to see it, it looked pretty horrific, though.
Well, perhaps it'll jog my memory. This is rather disturbing. Jay, let me speak to my other priests for a moment, and I'll come with you. Are your companions available right now?
I kind of left them at the breakfast table. I don't know what they've been getting up to, but if it's easier for you, I can fetch them and return here, or you could come with me to look for them. Whichever is easier for you, Father.
He looks out beyond the gates for a second, and he says, Jay, there's a cave about 3 ways down towards the left exit here. It's generally empty. Tell your group to meet me there. I will gather my things and can speak on the subject more in a few minutes here.
I will. I will see you there.
He gives you a nod and he wanders off.
I rush off to find everybody.
Okay. What have you guys been doing while Jay has exploded away from the table?
Have I finished repairing this goddamn chair?
Make a roll for me, please.
Oh my god, I'm not exhausted. What is this feeling?
Woodworking. Strength.
Which
Ah.
plus proficiency, so 22.
Okay. With a couple of nails here and a little bit of TLC there, the chair is repaired. It's not pretty, but it'll work. You sit on it, and it's functional.
Oh, yes.
The door flies open, and Jay returns.
I was campaigning for the 200
Alright,
gold.
alright. Now talk no breaking, no tears again.
I will have finished eating and I'm like cleaning up and like washing dishes and everything and stacking them neatly on the side to dry.
Okay.
Hey.
And I think you could do better on this chair.
I didn't realize this is how you did it. I just thought you swapped in models.
Nope.
You know, now that the secret's out about that scroll, guys, I was wanting to transfer it to my book, but I don't really have the materials. I don't know if we're interested in, helping me out with that, but
Hey, if you don't understand the scroll, I don't think you need to be writing it into your book yet.
I don't think I'll understand it until I use it. And
It's
if I
an
use
8th
it,
level spell. That's like
it's just a valuable thing to have.
you don't find those.
No,
That's
you don't.
that's like
It'd be a
I
shame.
can't even imagine.
I can only imagine the amount of food and wood and other useful stuff we could buy with the gold you would end up spending to transfer into your book.
Well, I did buy you that crossbow.
I hand him the crossbow back.
You did.
Wow.
Goodness.
Friendship gift.
How dare you?
Some cultures, you could be killed for that.
Giving a crossbow back.
Uh-huh. I
Oh,
want to
thank
see
you.
those cultures kill my character.
I think it'd be worth it.
That's a start to the donation. I appreciate it.
Be able to
But don't
cast
give him the bolts.
it in your book, not to go with this magic.
What did you ask, Rick?
Would you still be able to cast it if it was in your book?
Well, here's the thing. So I can cast it from the scroll, but once I do that, the scroll's gone forever.
Yeah.
If I never transfer it to my book, the spell is lost for all time. If I transfer it to the book, I'll be able to cast in the future. But no, not for a long time.
Yeah,
if
there's
it is something useful, it'd be a shame to waste the scroll and never be able to have it again.
I'm not knocking wizard skills and or your survival skills, but there's like Not man. There's like, do I know this? I don't know this, do I?
Know what? What's the question?
How many like? There, I know there's not a lot of high like leveled wizards like that. Do I?
Make
Or
an
do I?
intelligence check for me.
No, that's
Rock, 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 rock.
oh.
You're so smart, Rook.
I don't
What
know
is
if
that?
that's a 14 or a 16.
Check, please.
It's not alt tabbing. That's a 14.
14. Okay. You know a little bit about magic from your time adventuring, but it's not something you've studied. And you do happen to know that there are levels of magic, and you've heard of people using, like, the levels of magic 1 through 3. Level 8 is just something you've never heard about. You don't know if that's, like, far off, or if, it's just rare or something like that, but you've never heard it being used. So you can treat that however you so choose.
It'll be like so long before you could cast that.
Sometimes you
It'll
have
be
to.
so long, and it will just be completely useless to the rest of the party, and it'll be spending most of our money to get it done.
I'm not saying it has to be now, but
Hey.
I.
I hereby vote you save up your own money for this.
That's fine.
I could give you like maybe 5.
We did
I mean,
get quite
it doesn't
a
have to
bit
be now. You know, I was just bringing it up for the future because one day, if it comes into play where we're in a corner and I have to use some unknown magics, it'd be nice to know that it's not being lost forever. That's all I'm saying.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, use it if you're about to die.
Out of game, does it burn the scroll when you copy it into your book?
No.
Nope.
Good. Just checking.
Using the scroll does kill it, though.
Yep.
How much gold did it cost to fucking transfer a book again? So like 25 gold per level?
50.
It's 200 total.
50?
Because
Yeah, 25 gold because he's an
Because he's
necromancer.
a necro,
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah, 200 gold is all of our
The
gold.
necro.
It's like twice the amount of gold we have.
yeah, I'm not saying this instant we have to do it. I'm just bringing it up
Uh-huh.
because it is something that has to be talked about.
It would be nice. That's
Goddamn necromancer.
you don't find something like that.
No, this is unheard of, and to waste it would kind of be silly on our parts.
What's
Hey, but
also
to not
silly
use it
about-
would also be silly on our parts.
Well, to use it and to have it would be the best case scenario.
We did get quite a windfall down in the tunnels. Some glorious items that Rook found.
Hey, but that's what I'm saying. That's like... I thought we agreed that was like the party's gold. We
Agreed.
need that shit for food.
So that means I can take the money I spent on this meat out of it then.
How much did you spend on the meat?
More than it was worth. 5 gold, actually.
Oh, no, it's worth the 5 gold. I'm fucking starving. I have been eating good berries for the rest of my life. Ah,
Braxton clutches at his pearls.
5 gold.
Tell me it wasn't worth it, Braxton.
somewhere out there, Geet is shivering.
2d10
I'm-
psychic damage from your Jewish ancestry feat.
Okay, Illusion, that needs to be one of the orders that you put in.
Jewish
Second
ancestry.
season.
I don't know about
It was
that.
Whenever
The Geet
someone
origin story.
spends money, you take psychic damage.
There's a lot of options on there, but I don't think we're going for that one.
It was the most enjoyable meal I've had in a long time.
Very true. There's no denying by any of you that it was an incredibly good meal and the best that you've had in easily like 10 or 20 days.
No, here we go, Lucian, I've got it. You need to make it to where tieflings have just become the Jewish people of Skyfall.
Oh god.
So anyway, Jay, you returned everybody. What do you do?
Guys, I'm a little out of breath. Does anybody have any water left?
I'm sure there's some here. There's some around here.
I just like
I'll,
chug
like-
a glass of water.
Fill up a glass of water, hand it
Okay.
to him.
Yeah, you're in the mess hall. There's plenty of water. You get some from a barrel nearby.
Do you guys mind coming with me and talking to a priest about what we saw, and I give them like my best like.
I thought we
Do it for me,
dropped
smile.
this. Can we stop bringing up the goddamn book? I'm gonna stomp off.
But eh,
He probably wouldn't do well there anyway. That's
Yeah.
probably for the best.
I need
I
to go
heard that,
see-
you son of a bitch!
Well, tell me it's not true.
Hey!
Dwarf noises.
Ah!
Bite my beard.
Not biting your beard, you fucking idiot!
I was
Lead on,
meaning
Jay,
to
I'm
talk to
ready.
him anyway.
So Jay, you're
I
taking
I
them
don't
to the
think we
priest.
should have the necromancer. I guess taking the necromancer to a priest would be kind of useful for his soul.
Yeah. Yuri, if you come with us,
Yeah.
I'll buy you.
I know, I'm coming with you just because the fucking
Oh.
wizard started an argument with me again.
Okay,
I had to
good.
defend my side.
Good job, Braxton.
Keep doing that.
But what were you gonna give me?
I was gonna buy you a couple rounds after we're done, you know, to celebrate.
Oh!
Hey, well that'd be rather awkward because I know you can't drink.
Yeah, but
It
I would
still
buy 'em for you.
bothers me that priests can't drink.
They can't.
We can. It's just only on the first of every season, which I
Is
missed.
it the
again.
first
Oh.
of summer?
Missed it by a week.
We're
so close.
We were so close again.
I'm sure Illusion set it up specifically. If we had come back up here last session, it would have been the first.
It's gonna make it like the second day. Ha!
It's just turning to the next day.
It's gonna be like the 100th day of something. It's just gonna be one day away from the first, and we're just gonna be like, "No, Illusion, you're not allowed to fucking time skip. I'm sorry, we're playing.
You walk
You've
upstairs
lost
and you
control of this."
Jay
You watch
sees
the
all the
alcohol
priests partying.
disappear off the table.
Yeah.
All the banners are gone. Like, no! Okay, so are you taking them off to the high priest then?
Yeah, I'm gonna lead them out of the town down to the third
Okay.
cave. If anybody asks about it, like anybody in the party asks about it, I'll explain. But probably not saying like, "Oh, I'm taking us out of town," so nobody hears us talk about the ritual.
Okay, so are you guys...
Okay.
Does anyone ask Jay when he
Like,
curiously leads you outside of the Dwarven city?
Jay,
I'll
where
come
are
out
So
we
where
down.
are we going?
The priest asked us to meet him down there, and I point like 3 caves down on the left.
Why not the temple?
Alright, I need to make a fucking goblin glider.
Prying ears, you know, things
Oh.
that probably shouldn't be talked about,
I see. Interesting.
except in the right companies.
Speaking of, and I'll kind of lean up closer to Jay as much as I can. Could you maybe ask him about the
Yeah,
curse
I'll ask him.
thing? Thank you.
Do you want me to do that while everybody's there, or
Either way.
I lead everybody to the cave?
Okay. You get over towards the third cave, and it seems to go forward and then turn a bit over towards the right. And you notice something. You can't quite see around the corner to know what's going on around that right-hand side, but you can see an ever so faint glow of some sort of fickle light. It must be like a candle or two instead of a proper torch, and if you weren't looking for it, you would miss it just going by. You guys go in?
Can I take a look around? Is anybody watching us?
Go ahead and roll perception, please.
Oh my god, I've rolled so poorly tonight. That's a 10.
Okay.
You rolled
Looking
like
around.
220s though.
You can see that
Yeah, but those are the only good rolls I had.
the entrance to this city has a fair amount of throughfare, but over towards the left here, there's not much. Just the occasional person that seems to be headed for the stairwell. And so, looking around, if there are people watching you, they do so from afar.
Okay. I'm gonna wait until it seems like there's nobody watching us, and then quickly usher everybody in.
All right. A minute or two goes by as you guys pause for a second at this cave, and then Jade motions for you guys to all go in.
I
I would
feel
like
a cultist.
I would like everybody to go ahead and roll a perception check, please.
Oh boy. Second. Let's wait. Oh no. God.
Could be worse.
Oh damn it.
Yeah, no, I could.
I got a 12.
I'm just
13.
gonna stop rolling perception.
4.
Rook got something good, I think.
I don't think Rook rolled.
Oh, was that
Yeah.
Victor not sitting there?
That's an old rule.
I was hoping. Nope.
Okay.
5.
Something seems off, and any of you who got a 10 or higher notice what it is that is off. The rest of you just kind of can't help but feel like something's a little strange. Those who got the 10 or higher note that you are passing through an area where no sound seems to emanate, and you're going through a field of silence.
Thought you were gonna say we were
bro.
going through Zone of Truth, and I was
Yeah,
about
same.
to catch my breath. I was like, oh fuck, this is an intervention.
We need to talk about that
Jay
necromancy,
Coster.
Jay.
I'll kind of like raise my eyebrows and like slap
Priest
Jay on
can
the
ambush
shoulder.
us.
I'm just gonna like shrug and like point to myself and then shake my head no.
Okay.
I'll just shrug and keep walking.
Eventually, you escape from this and around the corner, and there, seated on the ground on a mat of some sort, like a thick cloth, is the priest, and he has with him a whole bunch of different things like candles and jars with strange things in them, and a couple of books and a backpack. And he looks over and sees your group and gives you all a nod and motions for you to approach.
All right.
Hello, Father. Tell his blessings.
To you as well. Thank you for being speedy.
Of course.
Well, let's have it. Let's waste no time.
Braxton, the
The drawing.
drawing, if you don't mind.
Ah. Here we are. Drew it myself. Hand it over.
Okay, I'm gonna roll.
Here you go, Father.
Priest. Okay. He stares at it for a moment, and he stares and he stares and he says, "What are these parts here? What am I looking at exactly?"
What's he pointing at?
He points out the different things that you've drawn, like the things that line the walls, and then the like the square shape that you've done for the altar, that kind of thing.
Well,
I'll explain about like the blood and how this is the center, and these are all bodies around, and like
lying in a
indents.
prostate position, and like as they were bowing down to the altar, and they had, you know, like, I don't. It looked like their necks or heads were over where the blood would pool and run down in these channels to the altar, and there was a depression there, and a book-shaped imprint on top in the dust.
Okay.
I think that was, and there were 19 lines.
And it was a nat 20 drawing. You know, it's probably pretty good.
Probably pretty good.
He takes a long time doing nothing but sitting there and listening, and he nods on occasion as you give another detail, stares at the page, nods again when you point out what this is supposed to be and that. He hands the paper back to you and then reaches into his priest robes and pulls out what looks like some form of holy symbol, which he holds onto, and then cups in his two hands. He brings the two of them up towards his chin as though he's thinking very, very intently, and from a seated position. Have you guys sat on the cave floor, or are you standing?
I'm
I
standing.
would have sat.
I would have been standing probably.
I'll sit like an. Yeah, I'll sit.
You'll sit? Okay.
Depends on how long the storytelling would have gone on.
Probably like a
It's-
minute or two.
Is he sitting?
I'm
If the
sitting.
priest is sitting, I'll sit.
Yeah, probably follow suit.
No, I'm a dwarf. I look like I'm sitting just by standing.
Okay. So, let's see here. Well, that's the wrong model, but it'll do. You guys will be
Will
kind
it?
of around the corner, so that couldn't be seen. And let's see. Well, that's unpleasant.
And there it goes.
Why was it unpleasant, huh?
Certainly a ding-dong. He stares at each of you, and he takes an unnaturally long pause, just staring into your eyes one by one. Stares over at you, Yuri. Stares over at you, Braxton. Do you guys say anything while he does?
I kind of like
No.
tilt my head at him. That's about it.
I'll look right back. Let him take whatever it is he wants to take in.
Furrowed eyebrows.
Okay. Still clutching his holy symbol and keeping his hands to his chin, he eventually finishes taking his long stare at each of you. And then he stares down at the ground in front of him, where a single candle seems to burn right in front, in between you guys and himself. While looking at it, he says, Jay's told me a little bit about this item. Show me the ritual. Grateful. There are more details that you need to tell me.
Do you guys want to tell him what the book said to you? I didn't talk to the book.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe
Oh,
what the...
Also mentioned the whole illusion trial, whatever the fuck we went through.
That's true.
Oh,
Powerful illusion.
yes, that's probably good.
We can tell him what the book was locked in. Explain, like, the,
Hey, we
Oh.
dropped down into a hole, into a square, strange cavern with a square well at the bottom, and then somebody at the top knocked down a rope, walked down a long hallway into a big open area with a dirt floor and a giant bug. On the right, there was a small room with a strange contraption that had a key braced onto it. It was trapped, it would cut off your head.
What were the
Well, I
symbols
broke
like?
that.
the
I couldn't read them.
symbols. They were
Right.
in deep
Knew what it was.
speech, right? I'm pretty sure they were in deep speech. But I don't speak deep speech. So I don't know what they said.
Well, there's a few theories that we could craft here. It would appear that we have an abundance of human cattle, slaves, that were used for the ritual, or souls. Deep speech was involved as well, then some malign power from outside of the world is attempting to do something. Or, alternatively, this would make sense given where we are. There are mind flayers nearby.
Do you know anything else about deep speech, Father? Because I had some concerning things that I might want to talk to someone about.
Now would be the time to tell me what there is to tell, Braxton.
Okay, well, two separate instances when we were down there, I felt my mind being, if not probed, at least in the presence of something else. And they were speaking deep speech to me, and I couldn't respond, didn't know what they were saying. It was a little worrying. If you know anything that might be, it would put my mind at ease.
He looks up at you for a second and stares directly into your eyes unblinkingly. And you've never seen the High Priest look so determined, like he's concentrating heavily on something. And he says to you, is that before or after you found the thing?
Before. Once was before, definitely.
They
The
were
next, I think they were both before.
His eyes dart
This-
over and he stares at you, Rook.
Give him a wave.
What can you tell me about this item?
Well, started talking to me frantically, saying things upon the lines of, please protect me, you have to protect me, don't let your friends find out, gotta protect me.
Did you feel an evil?
I honestly have to say no. I don't think so, but my judgment, he didn't, it, it's hard. I don't know if I felt evil or not. It was so frantic and everything feels diluted. I don't know that word. Everything feels muddy.
I see. It clearly had some power over your minds. Given powerful illusion, it seems that it has the ability to affect multiple people at the same time and wrap them into the same sort of. It's fortunate that you all managed to walk away unscathed. However, I don't know if this deep speech that you heard, Braxton, is related to the item.
I don't think it was because no one else heard it. I will tell you the first time I heard it, and I haven't tried to replicate this yet, but I was thinking about it. So we were in a fight with some crazy spider monkey things,
Begins to
and
nod.
Rook had just fallen down a hole and broke his arm. So I slid down there, and I didn't know if this was gonna work, but I've used this like mending spell to like cast like help,
His
brace
eyes
and
narrow.
I've used it to like mend cracks in wood and things of that nature. And I thought, well, a bone is kind of like a stick, so I tried it and it snapped back into place and seemed to work. And that's when I heard the first whisperings.
Can I
I
try
don't
and
know
gauge?
if it was I don't know if it's a coincidence.
Can I
But,
try and gauge the priest's reaction to Braxton's story about the mending spell?
Roll insight.
Thank you.
Oh,
20?
20.
Oh,
Okay. You think that with this concentrating gaze that the priest is picking up on a lot, and as Braxton goes ahead and says all of this, you get the sense that he is calculating right now based off of something Braxton has said, and he seems to be very serious and growing more serious, as though whatever it is that you guys are telling him isn't making this problem go away, but just adding on to it. You also get something else with your 20, which is that the priest knows more than he's letting on.
Good to know.
even the priest keeps secrets.
The high priest continues to listen, and says, "Tell me about the second time, then." But he doesn't keep looking at you. He breaks his eye contact and begins to rifle around in his things, going through his backpack, and you hear the sound of, like, papers.
The second time wasn't as memorable, but I didn't think I did anything to spark it. But the memorable thing about the second time was, or the first time I just felt what talking to. The second time I felt an invasion of my mind, like it was trying to do something else besides talk. And I think I was lucky enough to push it away. But it was definitely more invasive the second time. I don't think there was a trigger that I can remember, though. It's very confusing.
Braxton, wasn't that when Jay had just cast Detect Magic? And there was some he was telling us there was some weird magical force around us. I remember you reacting different from there.
Will doesn't remember the second time as much.
Yeah, Jimmy as a player, I thought that Will felt that, and that's what made me use detect magic, or maybe he felt it as I was preparing the ritual.
Oh, that might be the case.
I don't
Okay.
remember
Honestly,
it
that was
being.
the case.
The priest thinks for a while, and he ponders this, and you see his fingers seem to tap a little bit here around his holy symbol. He turns over to you, Jay. He says, Jay, please cast Detect Magic and tell me what you feel.
Okay, I set up, or no, I'm not even gonna set up a ritual. I'm just gonna cast detect magic.
Okay. You can feel the silent spell that's behind you, and also the magical items that your group has managed to get a hold of, the arrows and the scroll, etc.
I describe each of them to him as much detail as I can.
I'll take out the 3 arrows as well and like put them in front of me
Okay.
in their little box.
The priest nods, and he looks over at you, Braxton, and he says, something is watching you.
Just sitting there like a patient in a doctor's office. Something.
Exactly what it is. But your interaction using mending in a manner that was not allowed seems to have attracted something's attention. It's
How is it
possible it was this
watching?
book, but I fear it may be something else.
Something as in a creature, or as in something more powerful?
Something.
It's difficult to tell.
Is it watching right now?
Jay tells the truth, and I absolutely believe he does, then yes, we are currently safe.
What if it comes back? What if it's stronger next time?
Then there's no telling what it might do. Braxton, if you used mending in order to heal living flesh, you have just violated one of the laws of magic. Whatever it is that spoke to you does so based off of that act. And if you felt an intrusion after the fact, chances are that whatever it is seeking you out.
Jesus.
I don't know if this is something that will come to simply pass, fall away like a page of history not worth reading again, or if it will soon be a monster on your doorstep. But I am near certain that something is after you here. As far as the issue with the book, its powers seem to be of a different kind. I'm not familiar with it. Its name and its ritual is foreign to me, but I think we can build a good picture here and safely say that it is behind you. There's something
have
else. Something is watching you, Braxton.
I have another issue while we're on the subject of things watching us.
Yes.
I describe the sphere that I found and the thunder dude that popped out when Rook touched it, and I don't go into what Rook's trial was, but he came back from it, and then Ira talked to the snake lady, and we scared her off with radiant magic and a bunch of damage, and I realized that there was perhaps something religious about these two figures, but as I racked my memory in the heat of the moment, nothing came to me. And as the snake lady vanished into her portal and the sphere disappeared, she said something about cursing Ira here. And then Ira, if you want to describe your dream for the priest.
Yes, this was a few nights ago. I was in a field and looked down, and my hands were coated with blood. Not that I haven't killed before, but when I woke up, it everything felt odd. Like like my body wasn't quite my own anymore. I don't know. It's not like I'm not in control. I'm like kind of turning my hands over a little bit, but it doesn't feel quite right. I'm worried.
See. Well, I can shed some light. While you're talking here, the priest goes to cast some sort of arcane spell. And Jay, you're actually familiar with this since you've cast it. He recasts the silence in the same area so that you might continue talking.
Okay.
And goes on to say, I'm familiar with both of these things you've described. Rook, the one that you called from the orb, must have been some avatar of Oberic. He's a god of destruction, the seas. I don't know what he wanted from you, but you're lucky to be in one piece. As for you, Irisville, you called into the world an avatar of Lantia, and likely had a meeting with some demon of hers. I can't speak as to whether or not this curse still persists. Jay, detect magic. Does it read anything off of Irisville?
I don't believe so. I'm pretty sure I have used it around her multiple times. I wasn't there when she had the dream, but I don't sense anything off of her right now as far as
How about lesser
assuming it's a
restoration?
plan
Have
is.
you attempted this?
I believe so. I used lesser restoration on you, didn't I, Yara?
Immediately after the dream, yes.
Has it returned since then?
No, I
Okay.
haven't had any sign of it.
If it does, seek me out. But as far as I can
Alright.
tell, looking at you right now, and what Jay tells me, perhaps it was just that. Just a dream. You can put those items
Good.
aside, just like the book, which I believe is finished here.
Do you know why the sphere never returned to us?
It's difficult to say. If the sphere was used for calling one of these avatars, it's strange that you would find it again.
It's sort of like the way that puzzle box that you exercised for us kept returning to us.
Yes.
Almost as soon as Rook returned to us, the sphere appeared just out of reach.
That brings me to
However,
my final point. There is, unfortunately, a great deal eyes that I feel on your group. I think that at this point, being a group of 4 great souls with the amount of power that you have, more strange happenings are around the corner. It's going to become more and more difficult to discern from who or what it is exactly. But something is watching you, and more things will come to watch you. It's only going to get worse from here on out.
Oh boy.
You're attracting the attention of others. The gods likely see you as powerful tools now, the kind of which that anybody would like to have as a piece on their side of the board. Braxton, if you've been called by this strange, deep speech, perhaps it is something from the Dark Sea. And maybe,
You think it would know I don't know how to speak its language, right?
perhaps, it could be but its first meeting. You said the first time it attempted to speak, and the second time it attempted to probe deeper, did it not?
That's true.
I would not be surprised if the third time it did speak to you.
Oh, jeez.
You must all be very careful. The actions that you take from this day forth, and probably over the last few days as well, are going to have rippling effects that are going to be wide sweeping. The town of Everwatch is doing well. I've watched over my priests and the congregation, and I have seen signs of recovery, but also signs of instability. believe that cult worship you worried about with Avisera has returned. There are murmurings of it, the people. Beyond that, it seems that a bit of food and drink has finally made it, as a caravan has come through. People have let down their guard, expanded further into the depths. If you want this city to prosper, which I believe that you do, I think it's a fine thing to continue striving for. You're going to have to move very carefully from here. Could cause a lot of damage.
Do you think it's dangerous for us to stay near civilization? Should we strike out on our own?
And die in the cold.
Did it say a caravan had gotten through? From where?
Caravan seems to have come from further off towards the west. Curious, I can't imagine somebody making the mountain pass, but that's what the rumor is amongst the common folk. Look,
West?
if you choose to leave Everwatch, that it might be safe, you can do so, but you are as much a burden and a danger to it as you are its protectors, so I leave that decision to you. I only say that if you choose to stay here, that you be extra cautious. Braxton, I want you to pay attention to any time that your mind feels like it may be off. And I warn you about using mending in that fashion again.
I can see why. Do you have any idea what it could have been? Bad, good? I got nothing to work off of here.
There's no way to tell. We'll have to guess its motives. But I will
If it's
say,
gonna keep coming back, eventually it's gonna overpower me. Should I just let it in next time, or do I keep fighting?
your group would do well to come up for a plan if such a thing happens. In truth, Jay,
Yes.
protection from good and evil spell may save your friend from possession.
Alright, I will begin preparing that each morning.
I'd advise you keep it on hand and be ready in case something happens. Braxton, if this thing is indeed
Oh,
this
boy.
powerful, it may simply force its way in. There's no way to tell if it is proximal to us right now or calling from another plane. You can hope for the latter, but the former may be true. As for you, Erisfiel, things should be fine. Rook, it seems that that book seemed to take a liking to you, but it is likely a done deal.
Jeez.
There's one last thing. If you're to be the protectors of this town, like I think you intend to be, instead of leaving, then I would advise that you tell me about the one thing that you won't tell me. And I'll give you time to think on that if you want. I'll wait in the cave.
Hey,
I
wait,
just-
what are we not telling them?
I like roll my eyes and like look over at Braxton and then at Jay.
I kind of assumed that when I was using detect magic and describing all of the stuff that I would have mentioned that, and I thought he just glanced right by it. That's why I kind of winced. Time, but if I didn't
I thought
describe
you didn't
it to him,
mention
then
it.
no, I kind of thought this was everybody coming here and opening up to him.
He went over like all the magics and
Yeah,
what they were coming
described
from.
all the magic items we had.
It could have been more detailed, but
I
yeah.
mean, I probably would have been hesitant to say it, so I can, more
It's under.
delve
Yeah, we're not
into
going to
it here.
retcon it because we're kind of far in.
No, it's fine. In that case, if I, realize that perhaps subconsciously I hid this from him, I'll say, there's one more magic item. I must have mistakenly skipped over it from my own natural.
Yeah, and if I'm gonna get
Uneasy
possessed, I probably shouldn't hold it. Does anyone have like a padlock?
He extends a hand towards you, Braxton.
Like he wants to see it?
Yeah, he holds his open palm towards you, waiting for you to place something there.
Could be really bad. Just be prepared. Take a look.
And thus we lost our level 8 spell scroll.
Do you hand it over to him?
If this is as bad as possible, what do you intend on doing, Father?
Wish to examine this item that you have kept from me.
I just like look at Braxton and give him a nod.
All right. You're not gonna like it. Here you go. Hand put in his hand.
He takes it and pops open the scroll case with cautious hands, and eventually opens up the scroll and stares at it for a moment. Okay. So he gives it a look. He eventually rolls it back up, and he hands it back to you. He says, "This is very powerful, Braxton."
About one of the only things I do know about it.
He looks at the rest of you, and he says, "There is a high chance that a creature is after Braxton's mind. It may be best that somebody else safeguard this scroll."
I was gonna say like we lock it up and we split up the scroll from the key. Like within.
With a
I'll put-
padlock, he says.
I'll put my hand out towards Braxton. for
Or
the scroll.
Jay, you just take it. Like I told you,
No,
you could
we'll-
take it earlier.
We'll lock it up. I like your idea, but for now, I'll hold on to it for you, Braxton.
Yeah, yeah, that sounds like a good idea.
If it's going after your mind, we have two extremely strong fighters here in the group. Would you agree
Grip
that
axe.
if you start going a little bit crazy,
Give me
or
a couple
trying to
new
get the
scars.
scroll,
Alright, I'll give him a good smack on the head if I think he's gone crazy, but I might misjudge at times. He's a bit crazy just in general.
I
Yeah, I
mean,
can
I was
punch.
just gonna say just hold him down, but I
Ju-
guess that's fine.
No,
too.
hey, you said we're safe right now. It's safe word time. Give me a safe
Yeah,
word.
I'm gonna smack him the moment we leave the cave just to get used to it.
Braxton, once it's in your head, it'll know the safe word.
Damn
That's
it.
my fear.
Well, I guess you guys are just gonna have to use your judgment then.
For now,
Alright, no complaining when I use my judgment.
your gifts are going to be the most valuable thing, Jay. Make sure that you have this protection ready if something begins to happen. You should, in theory, keep this away, and if things get worse, a curse removal can be sought out. You may have to restrain him, but if we're lucky, the creature will not be able to take him completely. Maybe its powers do not extend that far. It may simply seek an audience with you, Braxton. There's no telling what its motives might be.
Wish I knew.
Father, you don't have the spell prepared currently, do you?
Which spell do you ask of?
Protection from good and evil.
No, I don't.
I'll have to wait till tomorrow then.
Agreed.
Think I can last that long?
I hope so. I appreciate all of you being as forthcoming as you have been.
I am so sorry I forgot to mention the scroll, Father. I swear I did not mean it
It's fine.
to hide it.
It's perhaps a good thing that you instinctively wish to keep it secret. Hopefully this being, whatever it is, which is after Braxton, does not know of it. Because if it does, things could become more complicated. Maybe that your simple mending has called its attention to you. If it has sought into your mind, may choose to go after this item. I don't know exactly what it does, but it's incredibly powerful. I would seek out some form of some form of identification. See if you can find out exactly what it is that the scroll does.
Yeah, I would have loved to see Nessa, but apparently she's too busy for this.
Yes. Perhaps the next day will bring more luck.
Indeed. Well, we can see if she's available today.
Indeed. I wish you all the best, and if you ever need to talk again, know where to find me. Now if you'll
Of course.
please leave, I have some things to think about.
Of course.
Alright. Stand up.
Back into the world of being watched. Here we go.
Start making my way out.
As soon as we're out of silence, I'm just gonna scream, "What the fuck, guys? What are we walking into?"
And with that, we will end the session.
Alright.
Oh, wow.
Lucian, before I forget once again, will you promote me real fast so I can fix this freaking token?
Sure, give me 2 seconds here.
Wonderful.
We are too big for our breeches.
Like a couple months ago, we were literally walking around fighting bandits, and now we have fucking deities out for our blood.
Welcome
We
to
have-
being great souls, my friends.
We've had deities out for our blood since like day 3.
How many
Yeah.
gods have we interacted with? We have
A lot.
Bella. We have that one that got like the vengeance one. We have
Prosperous, my
Yeah.
child.
There we
we've
go.
had Obrick. We've had whatever the Lamia one was. We've had the
Lamia.
three fucking wanderers, whatever those guys are.
Alantia, the Red
Travelers.
Queen, the Cat Lord, Obadiah, Bella, Solan. I think we had a quick tie-in with somebody who was Solan.
Are you
Okay,
good,
we're at
Tess?
8.
Yeah, give me a second here. I'm just gonna.
I just want to say that
Lee-
we're done.
I feel like Leechko
Yeah.
counts now.
Yeah, Avi Sarah is definitely one.
Oh god.
Demi deity.
We
Well.
had 9 encounters with gods.
You've certainly been a busy group and have been doing many things, and
Huh?
Well.
Yeah.
it's kind of like you know that the gods are taking notice to you, but it's different when a high priest finally sits you down and gives you that talk and is like, yeah.
Guys gotta tone it down a little bit.
So,
Hey,
or
can you
maybe
guys
turn it up to
calm
11,
down?
you know, who knows. So, I'd like to congratulate all of you players on successfully not dying. That rope trick was pretty good. That was a near disaster.
Super clutch.
And
Even though you guys were screaming,
That
no, no,
mining
no.
pick.
Well,
that
to be
he
fair-
never gave back.
Yep.
If we had climbed into it,
Pop me
if
up
all
again.
of us had climbed into it, and like the portal entrance was literally into like the middle of a rock.
I was gonna look
That
through
could've been
Sparky's spellbook for like Thunderwave and crawl out and just like blast a hole.
yeah, maybe.
What-
Might have worked.
That's
What
what
I
you
was-
get
Me up
for
again
arguing
one more
with
time.
me, Will. I threw my dice to deflectors and turned it into a 1. You shouldn't argue with a
Ah.
dwarf.
I
Actually,
don't
never mind,
regret
it looks like
arguing with you.
We're good.
So, thanks to the audience for stopping by. Always a pleasure to have you. Thanks to all the patrons for paying my bills. And we're going to talk random stuff. Otherwise, we'll see you on Monday. And catch you then. Adios.
Escape.
So glad I used that mending spell on Brick's arm.
we're
and rolled really well in Arcana.
It's a great decision.
What didn't you roll like a